Ladies and gents, happy holidays. December 28, 2025. Virtual Strangers on the air again. One last time for 2025. I, of course, am your host, Mr. Wes Wesley. With me, as always, are my good friends, Looper, D, and Young Ruuts. D, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, yup.
Merry Christmas, Looper. Good to see you.
Merry Christmas to you, Wes. It's great to be back on track.
Back on track. I think that you're being a bit presumptuous. we are back on. Right. I don't know if you could say we're back on track. Ruuts, does it feel like we're back on track?
It feels like we're on a track. We're here. That's the thing. I saw some people complaining about how long it was taking. I'm like, fuck, man, we're here. Like, that's the thing, that we're here.
New to the channel, right? New
Yeah.
to the channel.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us through that period of, I want to call it technical difficulty, but it really wasn't. It was just ill preparedness on my side. This episode that we're having today was actually planned to happen a few weeks ago, and I had most of it ready to go. I had the show page ready to go. I had a thumbnail ready to go. I thought that I had all of the gameplay footage ready to go, but it turns out I didn't have all of the gameplay footage ready to go. And it's a timely process, transferring files from PS5 onto PC so that you can upload them and use them. So that was what was responsible for most of the time that we're late here, is just us getting our ducks in a row when we should have had that already done. So apologies for those of you who showed up on time, and thank you for those of you who stuck it out. We appreciate it. But yes, we are back here, back just in time to tell 2025 goodbye and put a bow on this year. And Looper, I thought it was time, man. Like it's time to put up or shut up, right? The 2025 show is just around the corner, and if we don't get started on preparation, then it's going to end up being in February, right?
Yeah, and we want to avoid it.
It's probably still going to be February. It's almost fucking January 1st. Well, because time is flying by so fast, and you like turn around and you're like, dude, it's January 1st in a couple days. Like, what the hell's going on? It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You're not lying about that. The time just seems to go. But with that said, we do have a scheduled week off at the end of January at work. So I'm hoping that we can be prepared in time to do the show during that week. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to schedule it out. Those episodes, they take a long time. They take a long time. And if I try to do one of those on a work night, I'm probably going to pay for it dearly.
They are so long they don't even fit into YouTube.
Right. Exactly. We have to do two.
I'm always clipping those
goal,
into at least 3 parts.
Yeah. Well, my goal for the 2025 show, and I know it's always ridiculous when I say things like this, but I'm hoping to keep it within 12 hours. Like that.
Yeah,
that's the
just
goal.
like all the previous ones.
Right. Well, normally I come out with a goal of like, we're going to get it done in 8, and then it takes like twice that long. Right.
Okay.
Especially when people fall asleep.
It's been a long time.
Right. I'm never going to live that down, am I?
No,
Nope.
I don't think so. But I think we can do it. I think we're getting better about managing our time and the expectations of what time is going to take, right? So
for those of you who are interested, here's how preparation for the 2025 show is going to go. We are going to be selecting nominees for the award categories, this week. I'd like your help a little bit on that. I think the crew on screen here are going to kind of put together the base list, but we'd like to share that with you guys ahead of time so that if there's a game that you feel that we're overlooking, which is certainly possible this year, I feel like I probably played less VR this year than I have in years prior. But if there's a game that you feel like we're overlooking for a certain category, we want to give you an opportunity to nominate. So I would suggest, if you're not a member of our Discord yet, you're going to want to click the link down below and go ahead and join, because that's where we'll be sharing these at. That's where we'll be asking for additional nominees at. And then, like I said, we're going to be working on that list throughout this week. And we plan to have the final nominee list ready for next week. I think we'll probably do one more of these episodes next week sometime to cover a couple more of the games that we overlooked this year, as well as kind of let you guys know what the final nominees are for these categories. And then at that point, we will schedule a meeting with the patrons to select the winners. And for those of you who are new to the channel, what that means is everyone who is a member of our Patreon will be invited to our selection, I guess, selection ceremony. What we've done in years past and what we'll probably do again this year is we meet in big screen and just basically debate every category, every award. We have a debate and we vote. Now, oftentimes the vote between patrons is split. And when that happens, that's where you all come in, because we do run a poll for each category as well, and everyone gets a chance to vote on who they think should win each award. And then if the Patreon voting is split on a certain category, then we go to the polling to break the tie. So that's what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. This week we're going to be selecting nominees. Next week we'll reveal those nominees, and then we're going to meet with the Patreon or the patrons to select the winners sometime. I would say about a week into January or so. We'll have that meeting. Gebhardt 53566 says, "You know who else likes a poll?"
My mom.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
I don't know if you're sitting a little bit away from your mic, or if I thought I saw that it was before was like right at the edge and it's a little bit low. I don't know if I should turn it up or if
I've got it right in my face now. How does it look?
Okay, yeah, it's right on the edge again. Okay, I just don't want to. I just trying to avoid the voices out there saying we can't hear Wes. Fuck, man.
Good looking out, young Ruuts. I appreciate it.
I was telling D that's one of the benefits of like not being like in the show per se, except for like, hey, it's in the beginning, is like I can focus a little bit more on that, and then also on the chat, right? Like I ain't shit getting by me in the chat now because I'm like looking right at. I'm looking at you.
Well, for what it's worth, the Xbox Game Pass says that you look festive, young Ruuts.
I do. I feel festive.
Well, actually,
I feel like
actually, that was
warm.
Old Darth. Old Darth said that.
Yeah, I feel very warm and cozy on a snowy day. The truth be told, I saw Dee's background, and then I felt a little chilly, and I was like, I can't do that. I got to put some fire in this thing if I'm going to be
It's cold in
looking
this
Is it
basement,
cold?
man.
I bet.
Is it cold in Colorado? Like, have you guys
Finally,
been having
yes,
decent
finally.
weather?
What's funny
Yeah.
is like it was nice yesterday, and like at 3 or 4 a.m. it turned cold and it snowed about, I don't know, trace on the grass, but and it's cold today, but it's been like 70. Christmas Day was 70 something.
Yeah.
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 Shorts on
This is
Christmas.
what's
Screw
happening
the
here.
coast.
This is that's what's happening here tonight. So like it was in the 70s today. It's literally 67 degrees right now. By this time tomorrow, we'll be in the 20s. Like it's going to drop heavily and quickly, and like there's going to be maybe even some storms blowing through here tonight as the cold weather comes. But you know what? For what it's worth, it's been a good Christmas break from the cold here. It's been nice outside, like literally shorts weather for over a week here. So I've enjoyed that. I don't know what you guys think, but I think a white Christmas, those are overrated.
I think they're cool, but I really did enjoy the weather. I just, you know what I mean? Like the warm is nice.
I think they're essential when you're growing up as a kid at Christmas. But now, as you're an adult, I don't want to scrape that stuff off my car, dude. I don't want snow.
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Darth says it's
if you're gonna have
-4.
snow, it better be on Christmas.
I don't want it. Like I'm typically moving around on Christmas, going to visit family and stuff like that.
Oh,
So like the less snow on the road, the better in my opinion. Techno glitch like Grumpy Smurf coming in with the I hate snow. Anyways, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad to be back on the air. It's been a hectic last month or so, as you know, we were wrapping up things at Impact Reality and Flat to VR Studios. We had some late launches, you know, some different DLCs and things that came out. Not to mention all the other things that are going on in the background with, you know, the updates to RoboQuest and all of the different things going on. So it's been a really heavy few weeks in terms of work, and I'm glad to finally not only be getting a break from all of that, but being able to come back here and get on camera. And the plan for this week is to get back in the headset and start playing games again as we prepare for our award selection. So I guess for those of you who didn't catch it, we do plan to be back on the air for one more of these episodes before the 2025 show, and then after 2025 show, we haven't discussed it internally, but I'm thinking we're going to get back on a more regular cadence where like we'll alternate. We'll have a numbered episode, and then we'll follow that up with a gameplay episode, and just kind of continue on that pattern. But speaking of end of the year, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Upload VR did their Game of the Year awards over the course of last week, as many other publications have been doing as well. And I always, you know, am curious to see what Upload is going to pick, because, you know, it wasn't that long
they
ago
have
when
a
they
track
were
record.
trying. They do indeed have a track record. It wasn't that long ago that they were telling everyone that What the Bat was the best thing that PCVR had to offer. So I always like to check out Upload VR's Game of the Year, especially the PC Game of the Year, and just see what they offer up in all of their infinite wisdom. And yeah, pleasantly surprised this year as we found out that our very own RoboQuest VR was named PC VR Game of the Year at Upload. So yeah, shout out Upload VR for. I've always said it, that no one is a bigger authority on what's good and what's not than Upload VR. So
They finally got it
So-
right.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Flat to VR for RoboQuest joining the Hall of Fame along with What the Bet.
Yeah, what the bat. Well, it just shows you what the difference a couple of years can make, and actual VR players running the nominations makes a big difference.
you know, I've already talked about a lot of the challenges that have kind of gone into the production of this episode. But one challenge I haven't mentioned is the challenge to my game time, because when I was playing these games, you know, Reach and Luminous and the others, when I was supposed to be playing them, rather, most of the time I was just playing RoboQuest VR. I got fucking so hooked on this game when it launched. And I know what you guys are saying, like, don't you work for the studio? I do. And I have had access to RoboQuest for probably a year or more. But I don't like playing these games when they're not finished, man. I don't
Right.
I don't want to
You're not a tester.
tired of right. I don't want to be tired of playing a game before it's anywhere close to finished, right? So I waited. I waited on RoboQuest for the most part, and man, like once you start playing, once you get a few runs under your belt, it really is difficult to stop. And I know Ruuts. I mentioned last time we went live or when we covered this game that, like, I was kind of upset that, you know, while I like having you in the producer role, I wanted to get RoboQuest in before you left because I think you'll really like this game. And luckily you picked up on that comment and gave it a look, didn't you?
Yeah. You know what's funny is, and D can tell you this because we were actually just talking about it today. I was debating going into this game for days. I don't know, probably a week even. It's just because I don't play much VR anymore. It's one of the reasons why I'm not like sitting in the chair talking about games, because I don't have the reference to do it, or the incline to want to. And then one day I you know, after you and Mash have been talking about it, and I'd watched enough video, and I thought, you know what, I love these type of games. Mash said he knows I'll love this game. I'm gonna try it. Fuck it. You know, I have it. I've had it for a long time, and I went into it, and it's like you said, it like gets a hook into you, and it actually literally is my game of the year, for every platform. Although it's not out on every platform yet. It's just the best VR game out there. It's just so deep. I don't even know what tool your gun you're playing with. That just shows me how I've put like 20 or 30 hours so far into this game, and I haven't found that key yet. I haven't got that gun. I did finish the fucking door, or the stuff with the guy with the gun. And I just feel like every time I play this game, it's unfolding more and more. Like, I just was playing it probably an hour before the show, and I had I gravitate towards the elemental guns. My favorite is like the Tesla gun, or because it bounces, or the fire, that little fire gun, because it's got the homing missiles, or it like hones into the enemies, and that's kind of a big deal when you get to the second boss, if it happens to be that fucking snake bullshit. You kind of want stuff that's gonna, like, that's why I love it. Like, this game is actually fucking hard. Like, the longer I play it, it's hard. I went into I had this amazing run, West, that I was going on, had everything going for me. I had the extra elemental thing that changes every 4 seconds. I had the bomb that changes every 4 seconds as well. And like, everything was going amazing. And then somehow I got like stuck in by some chained thing, and I couldn't move. And something happened that never happened to me before. I was getting bounced around like ping pong style, the damage. And the next thing I knew, I was fucking dead. And I was so bummed because I only earned 4 wrenches, and I'm almost down to the bottom row. And that's another thing. The different perks that you unlock, they actually like really mean something. And like, I need that bottom row so that I don't fucking die to some stupid shit like that. So I know this is literally the only game I've played in like 6 weeks in VR or longer. And it's the only one I want to play. It's the one that I want to play every day. And it's just an actual game with real mechanics, and
Right.
it's so well thought
Fully
out.
fleshed
It's just
out.
so well thought out. But
Yeah, it happens fast, doesn't it? You think you're on this like iconic generational run, and then all of a sudden, like, you go through one room and it gets a little bit hairy, and you look down at your HP, and your bar's almost gone. Like I just played a solid hour of not taking any damage, and now I'm almost dead. So yeah, it's heartbreaking sometimes how quickly you can go from the top of the world to time to start all over again.
what do you think about people like, and yes, I'm gonna call you out, James, Radio Runt, Mr. Runt. He says, he literally said he won't play this game because it's cell shaded. And I said, dude, like I said, of all the things to not like, I get it. Like you don't like you're missing out on the like an actual real fucking game that's fun. That's like, I don't know. It's weird to me because it's such a weird thing to hang your hat on when there's so many soulless games in VR that just don't have, like, this is the best thing I've played this year. And I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's always well, I'll say this: it's good proof, just more proof that the hybrid model is the model. This should be where VR's going, or VR gaming is going, in over the course of the next generation for VR. You know, I love the indie games as much as the next guy, but I feel like the one thing that's kind of holding back VR gaming is the library. And it's not that we don't have like thousands of really good games. We do. But if you want people to adopt VR anywhere near the levels of traditional gaming, then we have to have games that are on that scale, that scope and scale of those games. Like we have great games that will hook you for, 4 to 6, sometimes even 10 hours. But we don't have regular releases that are going to hook people for, 30 hours, 50 hours, 100 hours, and have enough content and variety to keep the gameplay fresh throughout that experience. But we do see it regularly with hybrid releases when people port these flat games over into VR. If it's done right, again, kudos to Flat to VR and VR Monkey. If it's done right, then it doesn't feel like a port, right? It feels like it was made for VR. And then again, you've got so much variety and content. Looper, I guess we haven't talked a lot in recent weeks about your experience in this game, but like, has it kept you coming back? I know they just did an update to the PlayStation version to make it 90 native. Have you been playing?
I actually didn't go back to it, and the reason is because all the things you said, because if I go back, I'm afraid I'm not gonna have time for every other game, so
That's fair.
I'm gonna wait until I have more time.
The Cookie Pie needs a sequel, please. That's one word, username. Cookie Pie needs a sequel, please. Which, by the way, Cookie Pie does need a sequel.
She does.
It's a good reference.
That would be cool.
But anyway, Cookie Pie says RoboQuest is the roguelite, and yeah, I gotta say I agree. We've had so many like mediocre entries into this genre in VR. Like I feel like a lot of people tune out immediately when they hear that word roguelike.
It's because they all hold back.
Like,
they're all lacking in a lot of ways. And I think I was telling you this, D, a while ago. This is my belief. I almost feel like the VR genre, just going along with what you were saying, this VR thing going on would almost be better if games were developed for flat and then brought into VR. It doesn't mean you can't build it with the intention of it being in VR, kind of like built from the ground up in a sense, but your gameplay should be built for flat, because that's the only way that seems to fucking happen, where there's actual super depth and thought, and like there's so much thought to this, Wes, to the different weapons. I haven't even seen them all. I'm seeing shit that you're in your runs I've never seen. And every time I go in, there's a different perk that's being unlocked, and these perks are fucking amazing, and there's the synergy, and it just reminds me of a flat game, where it's designed to keep you in the game. Like, look at your bullets, they're bouncing, bro. That's so big for this. Like, this gets so crazy. I disagree with what Mash was saying last time we talked about it. he was saying it's not as chaotic as like Risk of Rain 2 and stuff. In a lot of ways, it can be worse. The small quarters you get put in some of those rooms, kind of like the yellow rooms in Returnal where you can't get out until everything's dead.
Oh God.
It's just like fucking, you got to keep moving. You
Everything's
need to keep
dead
shooting.
and 3 waves later. Ugh.
You're juking, driving, you're hoping, praying that you got the perk that makes your shield regenerate faster, or maybe there's a perk that's like, that's why I love that lobbing. I'm doing hand gestures like I'm on camera. That lobbing thing that every 4 seconds or whatever, it shoots that random elemental projectile, right? So if you're shooting a shitload of things, all of a sudden you're taking out 5 or 6 guys and you weren't even trying to. That is a lot of times why I survive in that room. So I don't know. See, 100%. Just the fact I get excited talking about this game, not even playing it, just talking about it. I just love it.
Yeah, and you know, so much plays into it. Like the weapons you get and the perks that you get on your run oftentimes dictate what type of play style you need to use, right? Because I'm like you, like I need to have a weapon that does elemental damage. The boss fights are so much easier if you can put like fire damage or something on them while you're moving. And then I'm like you, like homing projectiles, which is weird because like in like previous, like other games, a lot of the time I feel like I'm cheating if I'm taking a homing projectile, right? Like you don't really have to aim so much. But this game, it's so like once you get into like the later levels of it, they stack these rooms with so many enemies that you've got to have that help, man. Because if you try to like stand and aim, they're gonna eat your ass alive like within seconds.
That's how I got chained. Like I literally got chained by that stupid fucking guy that like you're in that chained ball or whatever, and then I had like all sorts of shit. Like I said, ping ponging me around, and it was crazy.
Anyway, I could talk about RoboQuest for another hour, but we already covered this game. I do want to ask D though, like, have you been putting any time into practicing on RoboQuest?
Have I been playing Arc Raiders for almost 200 hours in the past month and a half? Yes.
I see.
Yeah, that's the other reason I
want to go
much.
back into it, but man, I cannot. Arc Raiders just has a hold on me that it's gonna take.
Arc Raiders
something
got everybody
special.
right now.
It's gonna take something special to break that. I have to get back into Art Raiders hold.
It's just really good, really fun. And let me ask you this, Wes, and now that I'm thinking about it, because I'm watching your video, I have unlocked different classes, but I've only used the first one. I was like, you know what, I don't want to like start bouncing around classes. I know there's got to be like big differences to the classes. Am I missing something by just playing through this first one? Should I be switching, checking different ones out, or am I good to just like stick with what I have?
You should be posing this question to Looper because I'm exactly like you. Like I unlock the other classes and I play around. Like I play around with the weapons and stuff in the range, but I've never actually taken one on a run. Like I always stay with the original.
I'm not that far into progression. I only have some of the basics unlocked, so I'm no help here either. Sorry.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, but I'm like you, Ruuts. Like I'm hoping that one of the classes that I unlock is going to have some profound feature that really changes the game, so to speak. But so far, it just seems like there's some like new weapons, and for me, in a game that's this fast, and this is a game that's fucking lightning fast. In a game that's this fast, like I don't want to be thinking about the extra rocket launchers or whatever that's on my arm, because like I'm not fast enough to use something like that on a whim.
Right.
Like, if I take a moment to think about hitting a different button, that's the moment they're going to hit me and kill me. So,
so you're not saying you don't use any of your secondary weapons on your weapons? Because I see that they're there, but I don't either. I don't even upgrade that shit.
I'm still trying to get myself to use the Bastion time more, like the invincibility mode.
I
like you
always
can
forget
use
about
that.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can use you can be invincible pretty often in this game if you're using that regularly and paying attention to the recharge on it.
What, the
But
shield?
I don't. Yeah.
Oh fuck, man! I not only can you use that shield for being invincible, it's kind of, I mean, you kind of have to if you get good at it, especially in those crazy rooms. But there's like all sorts of modifiers that add to it, like that.
Yeah.
When you
That's when I
use the
use it.
shield, that's so fucking good, and like 30% fire rate like increased, and so now you're like that's why I love the game, is that like it incentivizes you to do different things, and you can see how they're incentivizing you. Like you're normally not even paying attention to it. Now you get this perk where it says, okay, when it's up, it's 30% faster, and I can't remember what else happens, but now you're thinking, okay, well, how can I use this in combat, right? You start to, there's so many different possibilities on how you can do your run, just even outside of what you pick up. I just feel like the more I play it, the more I love it, you know? And kudos to Mash, because I see exactly what he was saying when he said he played it flat. It's like you can see, like, it was almost made, like it was made for virtual reality. And he has a really good eye for seeing that in these games. And that's why I love your studio, because this is what I want to play in VR, you know? So
Yeah, that's the only time that I remember to use that ability is when I get the perks that are associated with it. The one that I really like is you can get a perk that whenever you use your Bastion shield, that it replenishes your scratch damage. It gets rid of all of it.
what is scratch damage?
So it's
like
that
permanent.
right. It's the little bit of damage, like your health bar goes down a certain amount, but you'll notice that like there's this area on the health bar that's this off color, and if you take like a certain amount of damage, your max HP will go down, but the but there's like a certain amount there that's at risk. That's your scratch damage. You can see it separately on the health bar, and yeah. So essentially, when you have this perk, you can replenish your health just by using the shield, but it doesn't go like all the way to 100%. It'll only go to like 80 or 90% based on what your scratch damage is.
Son of a bitch. Now I'm looking at that that perk a little different. I was like, I don't fucking want this thing. I don't even know what scratch damage is. That's crazy.
No, it's free health. It's the same. It's the same type of perk.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same type of perk that made me get deep into Returnal. Right. Returnal has certain perks and abilities that let you regenerate health, and yeah, it's really helpful.
That leech, I look for that leech
same
on every
deal in
single
Hades.
freaking run.
Yeah.
It's always good.
Yeah,
to have
Hades
something.
has the same thing. Is that what you're saying, Luby?
Yeah. Like I love the perk that makes you like recover some health each time you land a hit on an enemy.
Yeah.
Very
That's
helpful.
such a good game too, Hades. So well made too.
And I
But,
think Hades 2 won game of it won some award at the Steam.
Yes, it won
Game of the Year
something.
or
I think, yeah. Yeah, I only played the early access version. Actually, I didn't play the final one. Still on my.
Anyway, as I
backlog.
said a moment ago, we could just keep talking and talking and talking about RoboQuest. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. I will say this, though, for those of you out there that are interested, RoboQuest VR is still coming to MetaQuest this early 2026. And for those of you playing on PC and PlayStation, I know the game is awesome enough now, but co-op multiplayer coming soon as well. That's going to completely change the game all over again for everyone who's a fan.
I think it would be awesome is playing with you, Wes, co-op, but my only caveat, because Wes is too good for, we'll fucking wipe this, the normal. We got to play hard mode to be able to really
Yeah.
give it, put to our task.
Well, I gotta say, you're probably better than I am at this one by now, Ruuts. I've at least taken. I think it's been about 2 weeks since I played it. So you've probably surpassed me meaningfully in that time.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Anyway, we need to get this show on the road. Lots to talk about here. So why don't we go ahead and say hello to our friends in the chat? Friends such as Radio Runt, who you were putting on point.
Oh, yeah. I called you out, Radio Runt.
Radio Runt in the chat. Scion's in the chat. What's up, Scion? Good to see you. Happy holidays. Cookie Pie Needs a Sequel, Please is here as well. Gray Shades of Gray Matter is here.
Nickname.
Corey 2016. And by the way, apologies to everyone. YouTube's doing that thing again where it gives me like everyone's kind of alternate username, so I can't
It's
see
not
like
just
what
you.
your regular username is.
I
same
moderate
for me.
another channel, and the same thing's happening, and it's like it's a god channel, and it's you know what I mean. It's happening everywhere on YouTube. So
Yeah. It's like some kind of A/B testing or something. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Mind Jive is here. Zayla Maru is here. Gebhardt is here. Hello, hello, and hello. Corey 2016 is here. Old Darth in the chat as well. Mark Smith is among us. Hello, Mark. Techno Glitch is here. What's up, Tech? Good to see you. Blackout Boy is in the chat as well. I like the class with the drones. Those are actually helpful. I don't think I've unlocked that one yet. But sounds cool. Sounds cool enough. Who else is here? Jason Ewing is in the chat. What's up? Tom, the 12-toed Game Cat, is here as well. Markio. I did it
All right.
again. Markio is in the chat. Scalpel Doc in the chat as well. That Dank Cheese is here. Hello. Left Control Gaming is here as well. Grandpa Barbecuer, the Game Cat, is here as well. He says, "Hallelujah, Wes. Hallelujah. You preach the word. Hybrid games all the way. Every VR game, as well as flat." Thank you. I agree, obviously. Bitmappy is in the chat. Says hello to D specifically. Hi, D.
Somebody else.
Right, just D.
yeah, just D.
Brondo. Brondo's in the chat. Good to see you, Brondo. Welcome. Handala is here. Headbite is in the chat as well. Void Citizen is here. Good to see both of you. Alex in the chat. Here, Xbox Game Pass, get it in the chat as well. Silver Nexus is here. Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver Game Cat is here. Ryan Brannon in the chat. JLW 1999. Hello. Gabriel 004 is in the chat. Philozix, what's up, Philo? Good to see you. Salvador, good to see you, Sal. Thanks for joining. Well, that reminds me, Salvador asked me for some stuff recently, and it completely slipped my mind. I told you to tag me again, Sal. Sorry about that. I'll try to remember to send you that stuff if you still need it this week. Let's see here. Who else is here? Is anyone else here? McCarn Artist is in the chat. Good to see you. Luke Sparling is in the chat, and that is as far north as I am allowed to scroll. Let's see if we had anybody slip in. I don't know if we did. I think I caught the slippies before. Oh
somebody
no,
came.
I think we
oh,
got a couple.
one.
Warmark.
Yeah, Walmart came in. Alahimbe, Decathlurgic, Game Cat slipped in as well. Chrome Colossus slipping in. You know who loves it when you slip in, Roots?
No, she does.
All right. So yeah, I think I got everyone. If I missed you, apologies. Thank you everyone for showing up. So happy to be back and at it, doing a new episode for everyone. With that said, special word to the patrons. You're going to want to watch your feed over the course of the next week for a few different reasons. One, we need to start the conversation about when we're going to have our award party. We kind of need to pick a date and a time for that. Also, I've got tons of gameplay, exclusive gameplay videos for you guys. Some of them I've even got already uploaded into YouTube. I just got to post them on Patreon. But everything we're talking about here today on this episode, everything from the last episode, I've got gameplay. Some of them are just raw gameplay with no commentary, and then the other ones I record my mic. Anyway, tons of content coming to the Patreon. Lots to talk about with regard to the 2025 show and more. So shout out to the patrons. Just keep an eye on your feed this week. Things are going to be picking up notably. Anyway, Zayla Maru says, this looks like Sweet Surrender. There are similarities for sure. But, you know, not to be rude about it, but we're kind of on a different level from that game. I like Sweet Surrender. I think it's fun. But RoboQuest is just next level in every way.
The movement too, like I didn't give credit to that as well. Like, I mean, the game was designed as it was, but your team did such a good job making it feel like native and so good, like it was built from the ground up. Like I enjoy the movement almost as much as I do everything else. Just the sliding, the jumping around, it just feels so good. So
do you use the do you use the exploit routes where you can poke your gun through a closed door and shoot without taking damage?
I did not know you could do that, and I would not do that. We were just talking about cheating in games, you know, in regards to Arc Raiders, which obviously you're cheating against other players in that case. But like, I just, why would I want to play and cheat? Like, I want to, the door's not open. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know that was a thing.
Just the clear ones, the ones that you can see through.
Oh, I could see how you could do that, but no, what I do is I get ready and then I fucking jump in there and I have a plan of attack on which ones I'm going to attack first, because that actually makes a difference, especially those things that want to zap at you and shoot that beam. Kind of have to get those things out first before they're in your face. One other thing, I wasn't going to ask you this because, like you said, you wanted to move on, but it's really driving me crazy. Where the fuck are these swim trunks? This dude in this waterfall, every time I go there, he's like so upset that I don't have his swim trunks. I have not seen swim trunks in this game. And that's what there's so many weird little things like that. Like the first time I came to that gun guy, I'm like, why is he showing me, oh, he must want me to get this gun. Like it's the kind of the cool things about it. I do want to know what to do with these swim trunks, but I'm assuming I just haven't ran into them yet. Maybe they're in that locked room. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the game does a good job of kind of scattering out some of the things that you find. I don't know anything about these swim trunks. I haven't found this guy yet.
Oh.
But it does remind me, like, one of the keys are hidden behind a door, and you have to hit a series of buttons to turn the lights from red to green to get through that door. And I can only find the first button, which is literally right there by the door. Like the other two buttons, I don't know if they're in the same level or if like you have to go into the other levels and find them. But I've looked around.
I haven't seen any buttons. I did see several locked colored doors, and I didn't know how to get through them. But
well, the first one that you find, I think it's in the second level. Literally right by the door. If you start kind of looking around through the grass there, the first button's like right there by the door.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't find any of the other ones, and I scoured the level, like even like the upper layer, like I've went everywhere that I can, and I don't see the other buttons anywhere.
And you spent fucking so much time, and they're there clearly, but I think that's cool. Some people might not appreciate that, but to me, that's like gaming level design 101, just this whole game and the way everything's lined out. And then I'll leave it at that, because that's like the third time I've continued talking about this game. This is why I don't talk much.
Cookie Pie says the guy's in the section before the boss in Oasis. He's behind a waterfall. Well, so that explains it. I quit looking behind the waterfalls. Like I checked a few of them, and then there was nothing there, and I thought, well, I guess they just
always check behind the waterfall.
Yeah, it's like a hidden room, and then he's like, you go up to him, and he's like, "Where's my swim trunks?" I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about, bro. That's such a weird thing to ask a stranger too. I don't know.
Bitmappy asks, manual or auto reload preference? I don't do full manual. I do the one where you kind of have to slap your gun down to the waist level. I take the in-between method. It's not full auto and it's not full manual either. It's kind of in between.
I take the manual button reload. This is I've already got enough VR going on. I don't need to really try to shake my controller or my gun to.
Well, it's a real disadvantage here. I thought about going full automatic reload with it because it's such a disadvantage here to take any time to reload. Then again, I'm not really using clip weapons as much as I did in the beginning either. I'm using more energy weapons now for that reason. You don't have to reload them ever. They just auto reload. Looper, D, what do you guys use?
I use the same one
method.
with the bringing your hand to the hip.
D?
Same thing.
Yeah, everyone's kind of in between. Yeah. Durbin Brown says, I like the auto reload. It keeps me focused on the action. Yeah.
I think After the Fall had something similar, right? Where you not fully manually reloading, but kind of half or
So have any of you gotten to that second boss fight where you've got that snake boss where you're on the tracks? It's kind of those tracks where you slide around.
I haven't done that. No, I do want to say I've made it to the second boss fight once, but the bosses shuffle. Like they're not static. They're randomized.
Yeah, no, but so basically it's all it is the room you start in there, and it's got those tracks all over, and this snake is going around, and you're trying to shoot it, and then the floor disappears and turns to lava or acid. And then, so you're trying, I think it's acid, you're trying to stay on the tracks, but then the snake is throwing those bombs on the tracks. You got to shoot the tracks. And then he starts throwing out these blocks that shoot lasers. And then the whole time he's like zooming around the track, right? And you're trying to, the track's going into different rooms. It's pretty fucking hard. Like, I'm not going to lie. The first time I did it, I didn't beat it. But to me, that's, like, I want that. Like, I don't, like, why would I want to go into a game where I'm like face rolling all the bosses? Like, just the fact that there's multiple bosses on each area, like, we haven't even scratched the surface, or I haven't. Like, it's just crazy. I want to go play it now. I got a show to do.
Yeah, me too. We need to get this show done so we can go play some more RoboQuest.
All right.
We've had a $5 Australian donation from Grandpa Barbecuer. Thank you, Grandpa. Says, can I encourage all to fill out the Capcom survey? Question about games you've played. Only put in PSVR 2 games, with PSVR 2 listed at the end of the title. Okay. Everyone go do that. I'm not very familiar with this survey, but I knew that there was a survey because I saw Polish Paul in my YouTube feed. I think it was yesterday, saying that there was some kind of hope for getting RE9 into VR because apparently there's no plans for it at this time. But it was somehow tied into the survey, the hope he was referencing. So yeah, if filling out this survey is going to give us any better of a shot of getting RE9 VR, please, everyone, go fill out this Capcom survey. Grandpa, feel free to link it in the chat if you want, so people can go check it out.
Is that a Sony thing or is that a Capcom thing decision?
I think they ran out
both.
of contract or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so for like the previous number of years, there's been a contractual agreement between Sony and Capcom, not just with RE9, but just with everything. And during that period is when we got all of these Resident Evil VR games. You know, we got not only RE7, but we got RE8, and then we got RE4 remake. But nothing yet for RE9 that's been announced. So yeah, and people are speculating that maybe since that agreement between Sony and Capcom has since expired, that maybe we won't be seeing VR this time around. I'm still hopeful. I still think it's like a 50-50 chance whether or not we eventually get it, because we know it's not that big of a process for them to bring these games into VR. Like they got RE4 ready relatively quickly. It took them like 6 months or something like that to get it ready. So so I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that by the end of next year, maybe early 2027, we'll have RE9. And even if we don't,
Someone will mod it in.
I expect that the Prey Dog mod will probably work.
It's gonna work with it day one, I think.
Yeah, that's what happened with RE4 remake.
Right.
Like it would, when it came out, it just worked.
And it's
for the most
gonna
part.
be even easier this time because it's first person.
Right. Exactly.
Already.
Exactly. So yeah, we'll get to play it either way, but I'm hopeful for the console exclusive players out there that they get their version as well.
Gray Matter says, well, the producer outright said they have no plans at this time to bring any part of it to VR.
Right.
So,
Right.
and it makes you wonder too, like, because everybody has their thoughts and opinions and beliefs and love for VR, but businesses are businesses, right? And it really has to do with how much they sold on VR, which, you know, I mean, if they did really, really, really well, we wouldn't even be talking
there's no way
about
to
this.
measure how much did they sell on VR because it's not a separate purchase, you know.
Well, I'm sure
No,
that
but they can
I'm
tell.
sure
They can tell who's playing.
Yeah, that's
right.
true. Yeah.
In the studios, I'm sure the ones that sell the copies. I guess it's just because it's just a mode, huh? At least on PlayStation.
And they also have this downloadable thing that you have to still add to your library. So yeah, they could measure on this, I guess.
It just seems to me that
Yeah,
Sony is signaling in every single way, and has been for a long time, that it's not that will never do anything with VR or completely disinterested. They're just not looking at it from a financial standpoint, as it's like this big thing that they
I
need to
think
make
the
sure is included.
The reason they were doing it is because Sony paid for it, and Sony stopped paying for it. So now they are not doing it. You know, so
Right.
must be as
Exactly.
easy as that. And when Meta
Exactly.
paid them, they made the Meta port of RE4 original.
But none of this has ever come to PC, and that should tell you everything right there.
Yes.
Capcom's just doing this because they're getting paid for it. I imagine that these RE4 and RE8 would port to PC very quickly and
Right.
easily, but they haven't done it. So, yeah.
I think
Never bought
RE7
7
was
over either.
even supposed to come at some point to PC, but then it got cancelled or something. I mean, the VR version.
Anyway, hopefully 9 will come over. But as is the case with most games in the modern day, if it doesn't, then we'll just make it. The PC people will just make it be in VR because that's what we do.
Right.
Through sheer force of will. Anyways, let's get into our first title this week. And admittedly, I don't have a ton to say about Luminous Arise. This game hit PlayStation and Steam, playable both flat and in VR. About 6 weeks ago, I want to say, around there, 6 to 8 weeks ago. I want to first of all thank the kind people at Enhance for providing us with review access to the game. And this is one that Luminous, I mean, just in general, is a game that I've not really been familiar with. I know when this game got announced, Brian Paul was extremely excited for it because he's been like a lifelong fan of the game Luminous. And when he heard that that Enhance was bringing a VR version of it, like he was extremely excited for it, and you can see his love of the genre or the game rather reflected in his review score. But for me, I'm a complete noob to Luminous. I don't know that I've ever played it a single time on any platform. So in some ways, this experience was very new to me. But in other ways, it wasn't new at all to me because, and I guess I'll start with you, Looper. Essentially, what I have to say about this game and my description of what it is this is Tetris Effect. This is essentially Tetris Effect, but instead of Tetris, it's another game, Luminous. And that does make a bit of a difference for someone like me. But your thoughts, Looper, on what I just said, is that accurate or is this different in ways that I'm just not aware of?
Yeah, I would say it's exactly what it is. Just like you, I never played Luminous before. I didn't have a PSP or so. No, it was completely new to me. And I must say that it conceptually is much harder game than Tetris to think about, because your goal is to form those squares, like two 2x2 squares, and the more you form of them, the better. But to achieve it, you often need to think like not about what you see in the block that falls, but how it's gonna look when it splits between different levels and how its shape gonna change. So yeah, I really felt like I suck at this game a lot. Luckily, you don't have to be any good with the game to enjoy the audiovisual and haptic experience that it provides, just like Tetris Effect. So yeah, but
Right.
if you wanna,
that was
yeah.
So go ahead.
So, but if you wanna improve your skills at this, I highly recommend going to the missions section, because what it does is basically provides a set of small exercises that kind of help you gain some micro skills to act in various situations. And after completing some levels of the missions, I found myself performing much better on the regular campaign.
Yeah, that's true. There are there's a fairly deep set of predefined missions that you can play through, and essentially they train you up not only on the core gameplay mechanics, but some strategies as well, and try to teach you as much. Because I agree, Looper. Like, this game seems a lot more difficult, but I'm always wondering how much of it is it that it is actually more difficult versus it just seems more difficult because I've been playing Tetris since I was young, right? Like,
Yeah, but
my
I
mind
think
is automatically trained to play that.
I think if you show Tetris to a person who never played Tetris, they will realize what to do in like 10 minutes.
So that's a fair point. That's a fair point. This is a bit more.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of thinking, right? Like
Right.
with Tetris, it's pretty straightforward where you're looking
Yep.
at the shapes and you're trying to fill in the blanks. But this is kind of like I liken it to musicians who are able to play an instrument and sing at the same time. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I could play guitar if I put my mind to it, or I could sing if I put my mind to it. But I'm not coordinated enough to think about and execute the two things separately.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you've got going on here. Is
Exactly.
you've got to
For
be
me,
able
it's
to
the same with
split your
trying to
thinking.
play drums because you have to like coordinate left and right hand and feet.
But for what it's worth, difficulty aside, this game is absolutely stunning and beautiful. Like I don't mean to sound dismissive when I say it's just like Tetris Effect. Tetris Effect is one of the most amazing titles in the VR catalog because of the
Right.
way it handles visuals and audio and haptics.
Yeah.
And the way it all works together with the gameplay is unique to that title, or it was until we got Luminous Arise. So I feel strongly out there, if you're someone who really enjoyed Tetris Effect, even if you're not a fan of Luminous, this is definitely worth checking out. And
Yeah, and it all has all the things from Tetris Effect going on. Like
Yeah.
each level in the main campaign has its own track playing, audio track, and whenever you perform an action, it kind of makes a sound that in the tone and in the rhythm of the track. So it kind of feels like you are playing along to the track.
Yeah, right. Every action you take in game creates a sound, which also creates a haptic and also creates
Right.
visual feedback on the screen. It's that sense of synesthesia that that really kind of defined Tetris Effect.
As a term.
Yeah, right. And at a certain point, a lot of the challenge becomes kind of seeing past all of that to focus on the puzzle game in front of you. D. I don't know. Well, let me start by asking you this. How much did you play Tetris Effect, and what were your thoughts on that
Oh
game?
God, that was one of my main games when I first got the headset. You know, loved it. This is a different beast of a puzzle game. I kept getting stuck. Like, you have to make a block of 4. My mind could not click with just a block of 4. Like, I kept trying to put like 4 together, just in any way.
Oh,
gotta
I
be
see,
a
like
block of 4.
Match 4.
Right. It don't work that way.
Okay, so-
But I love this game, dude. It's visually stunning. The background almost distracting for me at times.
Yeah. Speaking of backgrounds, I think there is one thing that they stepped forward comparing to Tetris Effect. I don't think I think in Tetris Effect all the backgrounds were always stationary in the sense that you are in the same place. But here, I don't want to spoil a lot, but there are stages where you are kind of feel like you are moving.
Yeah, it's
This
almost
guy's kind of
like,
walking right now.
Synth Riders, right?
Yes, kind of like that. Yeah, I would say.
But no, so I take it then, D, that you had never played Luminous before this game. Yeah, same. Like I wasn't even aware of this game. I was surprised to hear that so many people had previous experience with it, and it was so like celebrated by a portion of the community when it got announced. Like, I don't even know what the hell this is. But no, it's great. It's everything that you expected an enhanced VR experience to be. So yeah, like I definitely recommend it. It is a little bit more on the pricey side because it is, a big time production and has big time production values. But with that said, it is on sale currently for the holiday sale. What was the price?
I put the links and everything in the chat, but I'll do it again. So both Steam and on PlayStation, 20% off. So both $31.99 USD. Steam is until January 5th. PlayStation is until January 22nd.
Wow.
Go grab it.
On sale on PlayStation for some time.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely grab it. This is something that I did not check out because they only sent us the PlayStation key. I'm wondering how much of a difference the haptics and things make on the PlayStation. I'd say it's probably pretty pronounced.
Yeah. Well,
but
you're
I
not
can't say
going to get
firsthand.
a headset rumble on PC, right?
Yeah, no headset rumble on PC, no adaptive triggers on PC, and even like the controller haptics on PlayStation are enhanced versus like the basic.
But by the
rumble
way, I
of,
played it with
PC video.
DualSense, and I recommend this as a control because you have
Yeah, I don't-
D-pad, and D-pad is kind of essential for this kind of game.
That's
It
a
might
good
look-
point, and I think
It might
Sorry,
look
go
a lot
ahead,
better
Rich.
on PC. Like I have to be honest. I almost played this game until I saw we didn't have it in our Steam library, and that's why I passed. Just because I don't play PlayStation VR 2.
for what it's
anymore.
worth, Roots, I
Haptics or
tried to
not.
get a Steam key. I tried to get a Steam key, they just didn't send it. So
Yeah, so might be
And-
good to be worth picking up. I bet it visually, especially with a really good video card, even with the tricks that PlayStation can do, I guarantee it looks a lot better on the
I think
PC.
specifically for this game, it may be especially true because the resolution is not the highest that can be on PlayStation. It's especially visible not in the level itself, but rather in this character that's to the right. It's kind of a bit, I wouldn't say low res, but like not the highest res that
it's a
you
little
can
softer,
get.
right? Than what it can be.
Softer, yeah.
Typically in situations like this, what you have is a trade-off. So
Yeah.
you'll go to PC and you'll get a bit more sharpness with the resolution. Sometimes you'll get a little bit more in terms of like particle effects. You'll get a bit more population. But what you lose for many people is the effect of the OLED, right? But I guess now most of us can just take the same headset over, right, and use your
Yes.
PlayStation to play on PC, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds. Technoglitch says this game will run on a potato. That
I don't know. There's
It's
a lot of
actually
shit going
impressive.
on there. There's a lot of particle effects, it looks like.
exactly what I was going to say, Roots, is like there's a lot going on here in terms of a lot of moving parts on screen at any given moment, and that can zap your CPU pretty hard. Anyway, I definitely think it's a recommend from all of us here. Even though obviously I prefer Tetris Effect if I had to pick out of the two. That's just because I'm more of a Tetris fan. But with that said, like we've all played Tetris Effect, and we've seen those levels and those experiences 100 times over at this point. If you really love that stuff and you want something new, Luminous Arise is the way to go. Because again, not only is it like a whole game worth of new levels and new audio visual experiences,
Right.
like Looper pointed out a moment ago, I think on the audio visual level, in some ways, the Luminous is the superior title, right? Because of the movement and the levels and
Right.
the other things. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out.
It feels like sometimes there is more going on, like with the levels, than what I remember from Tetris Effect.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I played Tetris Effect not even that long ago. You're right. The levels are pretty stationary in Tetris Effect. There's movement in the backgrounds, but it's not like depth. It's not on the Z plane. It's all just kind of
There.
things that aren't that right. Things that aren't that impactful to the experience.
Just watching the gameplay here, though, it doesn't seem like this is as fast paced. Like Tetris gets so fucking
It does
fast
become
and crazy.
It has the same thing with switching speeds on the fly.
Yeah.
Like
Does
with,
it go?
Yeah,
Tetris
this
Effect,
Does it go bing? And then you're like, because when you hear that noise, there's like a subliminal, oh fuck. That's why I like Tetris.
it does get pretty hectic at certain points. This footage that we're watching here is literally the first run on it, the first time I played it. So, like, this is the early levels and an inexperienced player here trying to learn how to play. Anyway, we all recommend it. We think it's beautiful, for lack of a better term. And I'm sure the better you get at the puzzle game, the more fun that the gameplay or the game in general, your experience in general is going to be. D says you know who loves it when it gets faster.
My mom!
Slower, faster. She just loves it. You know what I mean?
She loves it. That's right. She loves it. However she
Or
can
at a
get it.
medium pace, you know? What
I
was that
feel
song?
like you're gonna fail the level right in.
Yeah, I don't.
10 seconds or
I
something.
was just thinking. I don't think he's got much hope. If he does pull it off, it's like one of those people that bowling. They get that crazy fucking split, and you're like, oh my god, how did you do that? Because this is getting out of control here.
Oh, if
Yeah,
he
we're-
solves
we're-
this
we're
is
about
going to
done.
be that Caleb
Yeah, and it
Williams
happened.
pass that the Bears got to win a couple of weeks ago.
Dee, did you ever play
Miracle.
Kirby's Avalanche back in the day? Because
Nope.
when you were okay, because what you were talking about, it was similar to this, but that was you got 4 or 5 in a row in any direction, and it would chain
Right.
react, and that's kind of how I thought initially what this was going to be like as far as looking at it. So
I'm familiar with Kirby's Avalanche. I didn't play it a ton, but I do know about it because my son is a retro gaming enthusiast.
It's a cool
Yeah.
game. I loved it. I loved it playing it when my kids were little.
For Christmas this year, he got Tetris for the Game Boy, and he got the virtual Tetris, V-Tetris, for the Nintendo VR headset. What was it called?
Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy, right.
Yeah.
So he got a couple of old school Nintendo standalone games.
Nice.
Philosic said I didn't care for Tetris in VR, and I guess it just seems too complex than the basic Game Boy version. That's kind of why I liked it, Philo. It was because of how complex it is and how everything's kind of tied together. Well, that said, I've always been a big Tetris fan, so obviously I'm going to have a bias toward that one. Anyway, moving along to our next title on the lineup. You know, the timing of the release of Ghost Town on PlayStation VR 2 was very fortunate for us, because literally we had just decided that we were finally going to go back into our backlog and check out Ghost Town on Quest and on Steam. And as soon, like literally within a day or two of us deciding that we were going to cover this game, it was announced that it was coming to PlayStation VR 2. So the stars all kind of aligned perfectly for us. And again, we should thank the the studio here for providing us with review access to this game on all platforms. Was it Fireproof Games, Fireproof Studio?
Yes.
Yes, fireproof.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to them for the assistance and support. This game has been on high, pretty much at the top of our backlog since we switched to this format.
Yep.
And for me personally, a big reason for that is I think it was Dee that played this earlier in the year and was absolutely raving about it. For those of you who don't know, this is a story-driven puzzle adventure from the developers of the Room VR. And we hold the Room VR in a very high esteem here as one of, if not the best example of its genre in the VR catalog. So following on that, there's pretty big shoes to fill, or pretty big expectations for this one coming in right off the top. And I guess I will start with you this time, Dee. I feel like not only did they fulfill my expectations here, but they've absolutely surpassed them. I feel like this is a better game than the Room VR. What do you think?
I think it is just, I wouldn't say better than the Room VR. Like, the puzzles in here are good, but they're not as good or complicated as they were
That's fair.
in the Room. I think
That's fair.
Excuse me, sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I think the game takes a more like cinematic story evolution versus like the puzzles. Like, the puzzles are there, you know, for you to do, but it's more I don't know.
I get what
I
you're
don't wanna say
saying.
it.
Like, I think the Room VR is probably more of a pure puzzler,
Yep.
and
Right.
you're astute in pointing that out, because when I think of why I like this game better than the Room, it's everything else, right? Like, it's not the puzzles, it's the presentation, it's
Right.
the environments, it's the story. It's the fact that you have full locomotion and you can fully explore the environments, where like the Room had you on like node-based teleport.
Right.
This is like a more open format.
I think it's
Though
just
that
as
said-
good, just as beautiful, but it's just a different type of puzzler with a little extra cinema to it.
Yeah, well, it's a lot more difficult for a game to be beautiful when the player can move around at their own will, right? Like, one of the reasons that studios decide to do like node-based teleport is because they can always control the vantage point, and they just have to have it be beautiful from those few points in the room, and they can hide quite a bit. They can use smoke and mirrors, so to speak. So the fact that this game is just as beautiful, or even more so, with it being full locomotion, is impressive technically. With that said, Looper, I don't think it even is just, the cinematic storytelling that I like better here. I think it's the story itself. Like, I dig this kind of cool, dark, supernatural tale that they're weaving here.
And I also like how it blends it with sci-fi. Like, you are using this scientific equipment to decipher like some sigils or things that kind of some gives me some Stranger Things vibes or something like that,
Well, that makes sense, and I agree. I appreciate that aspect of it, because I've always viewed in real life, you know, the phenomena that spiritual people experience and describe are the same phenomena that science studies, but each worldview is so opposed to the other that they don't ever kind of connect the dots to bring it all together. So I did appreciate that aspect of this game where it kind of shows that it's all the same thing, right? Science is simply magic, but with explanation. So yeah, you're right. I agree, and I appreciate that aspect of it.
Yeah, but yeah, if we compare it to the room, yeah, the room is, as you said, a pure puzzler. This is a puzzle adventure. It's a completely different deal, and I think it's kind of more like red matter in a sense that puzzling often feels like more like problem solving. Like you have some power outage and you need to repair it and stuff like that, where in the room you were always presented like with a box where you need to do something. And there is a lot of that here too. You definitely can see the roots of the room game, and it wasn't just one VR game. It was a whole series of mobile games which were very great actually, and they were, I think, some of the more immersive mobile games in terms of interactions and pulling the slides, and you did everything manually with your fingers. So that translated well into VR. And then they did this game, which is much more ambitious project because it has like all this voice acting and actual characters as opposed to just ghosty figures that were in the room. So yeah, it's just a different level, I would say. And the puzzles, I like some of the puzzles here maybe more than anything that I had in the room, like the ones with the shadows, where you do later on, closer to the end of the game. And speaking of the end of the game, it's not a very long game. I think we should say that. And funny enough,
I think that's my only and main criticism of the game is that, if this game were twice as long, I think I would be talking about it as a game of the year contender.
Yeah.
Right.
Funny
What
enough,
they say, like 4 or 5 hours, I think.
despite
Yeah,
it being
ish.
a puzzle game, for me it took 3.5 hours both times I played it. So,
to be
in spite
fair,
of me knowing all the solutions, when I replayed it on PlayStation, it took me the same time that I did on Quest on my first time.
So did you play this primarily on Quest the first time and then repeat it on
Yes,
PlayStation?
I played it on Quest when it released, like in April. I think I played it in May, and then when PlayStation version came out, I just decided why not just play through it again. I wanted just to have a refresher, but I just couldn't stop, so I played through it again.
Yeah, and I think it took me a little bit longer to get through it, but I think a lot of that has to do with like what you're seeing on screen right now. Me just going through
Right.
every little thing in the environment and
Is
really
it in that
enjoying.
museum area in the sorcerer's house?
That's right. That's exactly where this is.
Yeah, that's very cool. So basically, the way it
Yeah.
works, you have a room with those different things that you can interact with and produce some interesting effects.
And I think that the effects in this game, the special effects, are a lot of what makes it so cool. There's a lot of D nailed it. There's a lot of cinematic moments in the game as you start to uncover the source of malevolence that's giving you all the trouble throughout the story. I don't want to spoil too much of what's going on here, but even like, for example, the computer setup that's in your apartment, the living room, and when you're having to kind of go through and scan and kind of solve some easier puzzles, but still something fun to do. Just the way that everything kind of floated in front of your face and really maximized the 3D effect that VR brings. I feel like there's a lot of these types of interactions and moments in the game that really weren't there for their previous game, and I think it shows a lot of growth on their end when it comes to VR development. With the Room, that was kind of their first stab at doing a VR game. You can tell with this title, Ghost Town, that they're getting some experience behind them now, and they know what they're doing a bit more.
One of the coolest, while we're in this room or in this footage right here, to the right, there's that green kind of mirror looking thing. That was one of the coolest things I have ever seen in like VR in a game. So I hope in this footage you look at that because it's awesome.
Yeah, I think I think I did interact with everything in this room. Are you talking about the teleport thing or one of the different ones?
It's right to the right of whatever you're looking at here, and it's on the wall.
So tempted
It's like
to click back the scene so you don't get to see it.
Oh, dude,
No, just kidding.
We don't be like that,
We'll get over there.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
That thing. Yeah. I hope you. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, come on, go to it, dude.
So while we're waiting for him to get over there, Scion VR wants to know what you guys would rate the story for Ghost Town. Like what you're rating on a 1 to 10.
8 out of 10, just offhand, I would say.
Something like that, yeah. It's great
it's
story,
really cool.
very engaging.
I'm trying to determine whether or not
it leaves like a very bold hint at a sequel in the end, because like you're basically on your own, looking forward to the next adventure or something like that.
Don't do it.
I'm trying to distinguish whether or not my fondness for the story is actually fondness of the story itself, or if it's just in the storytelling and the presentation of it, because I think a lot of it is just the way they did it, or the way they presented the story, versus the story itself being some like profound thing, which it is really cool. Don't get me wrong, like the story's cool, but I think it's the way that they tell it, visually.
Yeah, the delivery is a big part of it. Yeah.
Anyway, I love this game. I thought it was good from start to finish. I played. I was like you, Looper. I pretty much had the gist of the game after the first couple of levels, but continued to play it just because I enjoyed it. And did anyone here check it out on PC?
Do we even have PC keys?
No, I wanted to, but
Oh,
we didn't
we
have
did.
a key for it.
Could have swore this was in our library, for sure.
Yeah.
Checking now.
It wasn't last time I checked.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm pretty sure because I think that's why I didn't really end up playing it much. But maybe. I know I went into
We
it. For a little
have
bit.
strange.
Ghosts of Tsushima. We have
Oh,
Yeah, we have
Ghosts.
Ghost Runner.
Maybe I occasionally, it doesn't happen very often, but occasionally I'll claim a key on the wrong account.
We
Maybe
do
I
have
did that.
Ghost Town, Mine Ride, and Shooting Gallery.
yeah, I saw that. That fooled me too, D. I was all, oh yeah. Oh,
Oh.
Well, Darth
Red
says
Matter-
the game's lore is excellent. Agreed. Sorry, Roots, did you have
I was just
something?
gonna say Red Matter. Bitmappy says it was about 3 to 4 hours. I thought it was longer than that, but
Right.
One
just
thing that
took me
annoyed
longer.
me about the story delivery is attention, stay in the play area. Whenever you have a cutscene, if you move around, you hit
Yeah.
an invisible wall that says, that screams at you that you're doing the wrong thing. No, don't go anywhere.
Wrong way.
Yeah.
Turn back.
So the reason why I was curious about people's impressions of the PC version, which I don't see it either. I don't know what happened there. I'm fairly certain we got a key for it. Maybe I didn't claim it. Anyway, visually, like I thought this game was fucking beautiful on my PlayStation VR 2. It is a slightly stylized, but I think that for a lot of what they were going for here, especially in the environments, was some photorealism, and I think they did a great job with it from that perspective. Like the scaling's great, the detail's great. I don't remember specifically what he cited, but I remember when we talked about this game with Brian on Without Parole, he was more like he thought it was just okay visually and that it had some flaws, but I did not see it that way at all. So I guess I'll ask you that, Looper. What did you think about this game from a visual perspective? Were you kind of blown away like I was with it, or did you think it could have been better?
It looks great. I think maybe I'm not sure what Brian meant, but maybe there are games that look even better, but it still looks great. One thing, it's a weird thing to be excited about in a VR game, but I love how they did the seagulls on the
in the second level.
Yeah, like it looks like they captured the behavior of a real seagull, like for a couple of minutes, and reproduced it in the model. There
were lots of them too on that island. There were tons of them. Like if after you ride the zip car up to the top, and then if you turn around and kind of look back out over the island where you just came from, you'll notice that there are like seagulls literally all over the backside of the island, like hundreds of them. And I agree. I thought it was really cool.
And another criticism that Brian had, and it's very valid, this lack of headset rumble. There's none of it. Yeah. Also, I don't think as you see on the screen, your hands can go through anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So there is little things like that like signs of an indie title, but it's still great.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout. I used to give games more of a pass with those sorts of things. And it does seem to like just be your hands. Like the items in the world don't really pass through everything like that, but your hands do. So yeah, that's a good shout and something I noticed as well.
What's the cost on it? Because somebody was saying, Christian Lamb was saying, as good as it looks, 3 to 4 hour game feels terrible, and I guess that's really subjective depending on how much it costs.
How much does it cost, D?
On PlayStation, it's $24.99, no sale. But if you have a PC, guess what? That thing is 40% off right now on Steam.
Ooh.
Only
Jesus.
$17.99. Normally $29.99.
That's crazy.
Nice.
But I will also throw out there that, like Wes always says, this is 2025, $24.99. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually reasonable. That's more like $20 5 years ago almost. Either way, it's still reasonable for a 4 hour game, in my opinion.
I agree, and I think calling it a 4 hour game is a short selling it a bit. Some people will get through it that quickly, but I think it was more like 7-ish hours for me, 7 to 8 hours to get through it. I think most players will play through it in like 5 to 6 hours. You said your second run was almost 4 hours, right, Looper?
Yeah, for 3.5 hours both times, and I did get stuck a couple of times, even on the second run. No.
There you go.
$18? Come on, man.
That's a steal.
Exactly.
And you know what, D? It isn't just the storytelling that I really appreciate here, but the diversity in the levels, like they're all very different from one another aesthetically. Like you go to a lot of like different and cool locations.
And despite it being short, one thing I remembered that there is some point in the game where it feels like it's the end game sequence. There's a good chunk of gameplay after that. So this is cool.
I like that some of the puzzles too, like you had to like manually like manipulate stuff yourself, and then there was parts of the puzzles or different puzzles where you had to use your other like your powers and stuff to solve them.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into the story too. That like you're playing this clairvoyant character, and I think that whoever it was that said it a moment ago kind of nailed it. The lore is cool, but the kind of the world that they put you in here,
Yep.
really kind of lifts the game up a lot. Like it's almost like Harry Potter, right? Where you're brought into this world where there's this underlying community of people who dabble in the supernatural that the mainstream like people don't know about. So I really like that aspect of it as well. Anyway, I like even at full price. I highly recommend this game. I think it is one of the best releases of the year. Super high quality. Obviously, if you're not into puzzle games, you know, you might not like this one either. But I think if you are into puzzle games, and especially if you like supernatural and story-driven games, this is one of the coolest in the entire VR catalog. And like I said before, for me, if the game was a little bit longer, I would probably have it as a front runner for Game of the Year. But it doesn't. It is still just like a 5-hour game, 6-hour game. Looper, D, would either of you nominate this for Game of the Year?
I would. For all the play platforms, it is. Yes, it's short, but it's still. It's not the only metric we should use when judging. So on many levels, it's that good. So yeah, I think it's
definitely agree with that.
Should be nominated. Yeah, and if we decide to nominate it on PlayStation, it's gonna be our first nominee for 2026. Because it released December 1st.
It fell out outside.
Yeah.
True that.
Ooh,
True that.
that's right.
D, do you agree? Should we have this in the discussion for Game of the Year?
Absolutely.
There you go. Looper nominates. D confirms we have a new nominee.
What are your thoughts though, real quick, about it's still $10 cheaper, only $10 cheaper than No Man's Sky, which Christian Lamb put 100 hours into. What are your thoughts on that, Wes? I know my thoughts are it's like how many years they've been plugging into No Man's Sky with millions of dollars.
The retail price for No Man's Sky is $59.99. It's a $60 game. It does go on sale for half off all the time. But I think it's an unfair comparison. No Man's Sky, not only is it a $60 retail game, it's a game that's been out for like a decade, and they've been adding to it and making it better. So
I was going to say, what about comparing it to
Baldur's Gate?
Well, what about Baldur's Gate 3? I've put like 300 hours into that game. This is not even close to Baldur's Gate 3, Wes. Oh, wait, that's not in VR. But it could be, I guess, if you played it in a 3D app.
Corey 2016 says Arcane Age, I think, is the game of the year. It very well could be. We're just trying to determine who the nominees are, who should be in that conversation. And I think in terms of quality, this is definitely good and polished enough. It's highly polished. So yeah, I'm happy to have that conversation with the patrons in just a few weeks' time. It'd be crazy if that game actually
not everybody has 300 free hours to play.
Right.
That's
Some people
true.
want to play a 5 or 6 hour game and they want to actually beat it and they want a complete story, a cinematic puzzle game. And this game's for them. Not every game needs to be 14 hours long. You know what I mean? Like I would even submit 5 to 6 hours long. Could be a good, like, even though we all are saying we would want more, that's
maybe
kind of a
6,
good
7
amount.
could be a sweet spot.
Yeah. I mean, so.
I typically prefer 10 to 12 hours is where I prefer my games to land most of the time. Now, there are exceptions, of course. Games like RoboQuest, these roguelike games, like, obviously, you want them to have some challenge so that you have to actually put some real time into it, like dozens of hours. Like, I think like a 10-hour roguelike would be shitty, you know? So there are exceptions depending on genre, but typically for a story-driven game, I prefer it to be around 10 hours or so if possible. Anyway, I couldn't give this a higher recommendation. Again, even at full price, this is an excellent game and a must-own for anyone who enjoys this genre of VR game. Anyways, we move along to the next title, and this title actually has not launched yet. We're going to talk a little bit about the AUTOMA alpha or a demo. Shout out to Phosphor Games for, or is it Phosphor Studio, for providing us access to this demo. Not everyone out there had the opportunity to check this out. So we're very, very grateful and appreciative for being given access. So for those of you who don't know, this is the studio that brought us 2016's The Brookhaven Experiment. And for the most part, despite having contributed in the background to some other stuff over the years, Phosphor pretty much fell off the map after Brookhaven. And I think a lot of people, myself included, had just assumed that they had moved on from VR game development. You know, it's a tough road to walk being a VR game developer in 2025. So we just kind of assumed that they had moved on and were making other games, doing other things. But pleasantly surprised to learn in recent weeks that that was not the case. And this whole time, they've been working on this game, AUTOMA. So I guess I should give a disclaimer before we start looking at this footage that this is an early alpha slice of the game. So it's going to be lacking a lot of polish in the you know, visually, in terms of the in-game physics. Everything is going to be a little bit more rough than what you would expect from a finished product. With that said, everything that you're going to see here on screen, this was all done on standalone hardware. This is a demo of the Quest 3 version of the game. And I think, Looper, that's why so many people are impressed and hyped about this. I don't think it's so much to do with like the story or the gameplay or any of that. I think the excitement stems from they've basically got something like that looks like this to run on standalone, and not only from a visual standpoint, but the in-game physics are highly atypical of what you typically would see on a standalone title. Essentially, what we've got here is a demo that's very, very derivative of Half-Life Alyx. It's got the same kind of look to it. It's got the same type of realistic in-game physics going on. The gameplay and genre are very similar as well. The aesthetics very similar. But again, this is all being done on a Quest 3. So from that perspective, from a technical perspective, very, very impressive what they've been able to do here. Would you agree, Looper?
Yeah, mostly. I feel like I'm not as blown away by it as everyone else is, because, I mean, for me, the closest comparison wouldn't be Half-Life Alyx. It would be more like Into the Radios, which is already on Quest, although I didn't play it there. Like this, like when you go outside, you don't see a lot there because everything is covered in fog. So they are definitely trying to hide that they are not that they cannot like display all the details on Quest. So I wonder if how it's gonna work on the other platforms, on PC and PlayStation. Will they inherit the limitations that you could already see here?
That's a good question. I've been meaning to ask them that, like how the Steam version.
I also have no
and
idea
PlayStation
why they put this mask here, because you can put it on, but you don't see it. So
yeah, well,
that
they
mask is creepy AF, dude.
are they gonna
sorry.
add
And I had to put it
multiplayer or
on my
something
face,
like in
man.
Arizona,
No.
so the other people can see you?
Maybe it's a mirror.
Well, when you
somewhere.
put it on, when
No,
you put it on the
mirror
in-game,
doesn't show you reflection.
they use the red matter mirrors that they have a shine to them, but they don't
Yeah,
show
it's-
your.
it's
But
not like
maybe they
Wonder.
eventually they plan, like Wes said, there's an early
Yeah,
build.
there is-
Maybe eventually you will see yourself.
There
in
is
there.
one way to see the mask actually. If you pause the game and take a step back, you see your model with the mask.
Well, the in-game dialogue reacts when you put that message on, and it tells
Yeah,
you
it
that
does.
by using it, you're protecting your identity in some ways from the enemy AI.
Right, there is a lot
Um,
of surveillance going on. Yeah,
But
You
it
even-
didn't stop that drone from trying to shoot me.
No.
Like
Yep, yep.
it still shot me down off the line.
I didn't say it
Yeah.
wouldn't attack you. It just said you wouldn't know who you are. You're still a pesky human.
I also remember, Wes, you were talking about like the walls that they have like 3D to them. I tried to find it anywhere outside of the menu area, and I didn't. Because in the menu, yes, you can definitely see those cracks being actual 3D model things. But whenever I try to look at a wall in the room from a side, it's just flat. But it still looks great. They did a great job with textures and lighting to look like it's not flat, but it's still textures. But it doesn't really matter until you're gonna check. So, yeah.
Right.
Also, when you
Well-
go to the balcony, those like barrels, they are also flat. So these things around the balcony, if you
well,
take a look at them from a side, it's just flat surface. But again, it's a very early preview. I kind of wish I didn't play it, because I feel like this is gonna be a great game, and I would my first impressions would be much better from a finished product, so
Yeah.
Don't you think
so
it'll
I'm,
be
I'm
great to
curious.
see though the difference from the where it is now to when it is that full flesh?
yeah, the problem
know?
is the way it works. Oh yeah, by the way, The
Those
animals,
monkeys, dude.
the animals are very cool. And speaking of seagulls, the seagulls in the menu are also on par with ones from Ghost Town. Yeah. So the problem here is the way the demo works. Whenever you die, or whenever you glitch out, or whenever the game crashes, you have to start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So I played through these sections like 20 times. So I'm afraid when I'm gonna play through it on the final, I'm not gonna stick around. I'm just gonna breeze through it once again.
That's very fair. So for what it's worth, what Looper's talking about here is there is no in-game saving. Like you can't save manually. There's no automatic saves. So when you die or anything happens, you have to start all over again. And for that reason, this video that you're watching here is not going to show you the entire demo. I just recorded this just before showtime, and I actually die twice.
I bet
in it. And
you know what?
after I die the
what?
second time, I just stopped.
Is it a roguelite?
Did you die to a robot? Yeah, it's kind of in that sense. No, not really.
I died. I died to. I fell off of the zip line a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And then I think the last time I did die to a robot. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is like 3 robots, and then it's the end of the demo. So you didn't miss much.
Well, I must have just died on the last one then. I think it was the third.
So the
one
thing
that
was
killed
for me, I kept dying to the same robot, which is like the bigger one that shoots like big blue
purple.
projectiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept dying to this one. Then I, on one, so to say, run, I was very clever. I collected all the health packs. I just had all the ammo. I was very careful not to take damage. And then when I was shooting at that big robot, the game crashed. So I had to start over again. And the last
So
time,
I'm assuming
way-
they're adding it though, right? That's not like a feature. That's not something that's just their demo. Because that's
No,
why I
that's-
don't
they
like
just-
demos very much.
Yeah, that's just how the demo works. But the last time, the way I was able to beat the boss, first of all, I let my robot body, which by the way is very cool. You have a robot body that fights with you, and it's very like intelligent. Unlike many AI companions in games, it takes initiative. It goes forward. So I let him go forward and fight a bit, and then I used the adrenaline pack, which basically turns everything to slow-mo. And with slow-mo, I was able to land a ton of shots from SMG to the robot and dodge all the projectiles. And then it was dead, and then you enter the elevator and the demo ends. So yeah.
I see. So,
So you were dying right at the end, and you're like, I gotta fucking
I
finish
basically
this thing.
replayed the whole demo a couple of times. So yeah.
It's funny.
so
Speaking of shooting, I was kind of missing any impact from your shots. Like when you shoot at enemy, you don't feel like it's doing anything until it's done, until the enemy is dead.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of polish absent
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
the fighting and combat.
Surely
And,
coming.
yeah, I don't want to be too critical of it right now
Right.
at this stage. But you're right. Like the guns, they look and feel and even sound pretty basic at this point.
What threw me off, when you pull the slide on the gun, it turns it sideways because your offhand kind of affects the position of the gun, which is not how it usually works in VR games, you know.
So I'm assuming that they're going to get all of that kind of squared
Yeah.
away. Again, there's a lot of excitement for this title now, and I think it all has to do with the visual fidelity and
Sure.
physics and what they're able to do on standalone. So I'm going to be interested to see kind of the larger vision for the game.
Did you manage to open the can?
Yeah.
It shows you how to do it. So instead of pulling the pulling the ring, what you have to do is point a finger and bring it like, you don't even have to touch the can. You just have to bring it like somewhere close, and then it opens.
Frickin' through the can.
Just like real life.
Yeah.
Well, I played
But
this a
if you-
few times now, and the cat usually comes up and starts eating the thing immediately. But for whatever reason on this particular playthrough,
Yeah, and the way the
did
cat
not like me
moves
and wouldn't take
weirds
the
me
food.
out.
Ooh, I know what it was. You know how like when a can
You-
gets air and that cat's smart. It doesn't want to fucking die. There's something wrong with that tuna. I really
That's
believe it.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe it's not dolphin safe. And the cat
It's
is
not
very
dolphin safe, and
conscious
he's
about
like a
that.
humanitarian. That is actually 100% true. I think that's it. Does it worry you at all? Okay, Christian Lamb says it worries him a little bit that it looks like Half-Life Alyx. Are they just taking inspiration, or because that outside looks that? I see why you said like Half-Life Alyx. When you go out in that outside, it looks like the same fucking city, pretty much.
There are
Yeah, the only
similarities.
difference-
Rain looks
I
more
think
like
of Life
Half-Life
Silver
than
Rain
this.
is more similar to Half-Life Alyx than this
Right.
one, actually.
exactly.
In some ways, yes. In other ways, like I can see, like the only real difference in terms of the outside routes is the city that you're in here is a Southeast Asian city, like it's like
Yeah.
Bangkok or something like
But
that.
for some reason,
Okay.
you have detergents that are from Russia or Ukraine because you have those. Maybe someone moved to Asia and took all the detergents with them.
Maybe.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, Of Lies and Rain takes a few
And then
things
the
from
elevator
Half-Life
also
Alyx.
have like Russian in it, so I'm not sure.
Of Lies and Rain, I feel like takes a few things from Half-Life Alyx and does it like one for one. I think what this game does is a little bit more broad. Not only with the aesthetic,
Don't shoot
but
the
like
monkey!
The monkey dude and the monkey attacked you, dude.
Monkey revenge!
I
Yeah.
didn't do that.
I absolutely
He's beating your ass.
I am so glad you shot that because that's what I was like. I hope he shoots it, and then
Dude.
yeah, that was good.
Well, I'm glad to see Monkey reacts because when you try to scare
Dude, he was
the sparrow,
pissed.
Sparrow, I wouldn't say that Sparrow doesn't care. He like starts clapping the wings, but he doesn't fly anywhere. Fly.
Oh,
away.
so you tried
Well, I
shooting
think-
the
I think
bird and he
just
shot the
stays,
monkey,
stays
dude.
there.
Killers.
Yeah, I think the sparrow tries to fly away, but for whatever
Yeah.
reason, the game won't let it. Because
Yeah.
here in just a moment, you'll see. I try to get it, and it just
It just stays
stands
there.
right there.
I see that drone flying away, and I literally wanted to zip down that fucking thing.
I also
Look,
like
I was
that
thinking
here
arc raiders so
On this
much.
line, you can actually pull yourself up and walk on it.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yep.
Would have liked to have
That's-
known that
that's-
before I fell off.
That's how I did it last 5 times.
That's crazy.
The last 5 times.
Yeah.
So, so
Oh, yeah, that's
spoiler
right. I
alert.
went through like 20 times. That's funny.
So spoiler alert. Like, from on the video now, I'm going to like push through really quickly to get back to that spot, and I'm going to do the same exact thing and die again, the same exact way.
Yeah.
Good times.
But
man.
but in terms of like Half-Life Alyx, where Of Lies and Rain took a few things from that game and just ripped them one for one. I don't feel like this game does that so much,
Yeah.
but it takes inspiration
Inspiration. Yeah,
in
you can't,
like
And
can't fault
a lot
anybody
of
for
areas.
doing that.
and it
That's art,
improves on many
you know?
things, like the gravity grab. The gravity grab looks works like in modern VR games here, where you just pull it from the distance and it just snaps to your hand. You don't have to perform 2 actions to do it, like in Half-Life Alyx or of Lights and Rain. You have holsters here. You know, you can have it in modern VR game. You don't have to stick to the weapon wheel. So yeah, it definitely improves comparing.
I will
to
say this though
Half-Life
about
Alyx.
the holsters. The holsters are cool. How you have 2 on each side and then one over each shoulder. What I didn't care for as much as the area on your chest where you have to drop your ammo.
Ammo.
Yeah,
Like
they have to do
literally
something with
every
it.
time every time you look down, that pops up in your field of view, and it does break immersion for me quite a bit.
I'm a big fan of the weapon
That's
wheel.
true.
I think every single game should have it.
You can have both.
I'm not a big fan of being able to drop your weapon and the weapon wheel takes away the clutter of VR, and it kind of foolproofs it from fucking morons that like myself that are gonna drop the weapon or do something weird. It just, I think it makes it a little bit more
in case
streamlined.
of Lies and Rain, I'm not a big fan of not being able to drop a weapon when you need to climb.
Oh yeah, I don't know about that game. I didn't play that far into it, but yeah, that's kind of a problem. You should be able to actually, one of the selections for your any weapon wheel should be your hands with no weapon.
Well, you can do it, but you have to, like, instead of what you do in the regular game, just dropping the object, you have to go through the wheel to unselect it, you know. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can have both, like Wanderer does. In Wanderer, you have both the weapon wheel, and you can still just interact with objects as usual, like dropping them. So
or it's a game, just let people climb it with it in their hand, and then they could still use it. And it's like you don't have to make everything like real life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you do, then every mechanic in a VR game is probably going to have to change, because there's a lot of little things that we take for granted in games that isn't real life. You know what I mean? So.
I just think with a platform and a technology that has the type of depth to the experience that VR gaming does, I think it's so important for developers to give the player options so that they have the agency to play the game the way that they want, because people are going to be so different in what they prefer. You know, most people, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that won't even play a game like a shooter game if it doesn't have manual reloading. And while I appreciate manual reloading, and I do opt for it many times, it's not universal. Like I don't want it in RoboQuest, you know, like I'd rather not. So I'm think it's great when studios give the player these choices to make.
Yeah.
Here's the second. Oh.
Did you fall?
So Cyan asks, is this game mostly action-like Half-Life Alyx, or is it more chill like a game like Stray with the occasional action sequence?
What I think it's undetermined at this point.
It definitely shows a signs of the puzzle game, because all those first rooms that we like breeze through every time, it wasn't clear right away how to go through them. You have to figure out a way. Like first 3 times, like okay, in the first room you just have to find a key, but then there are 2 occasions where it's not completely clear how to proceed, and you have to like find a way out of the room.
Right. So it's like Half-Life Alyx in that way. Like it's going to be both. And what that balance is going to be.
The puzzles in Half-Life Alyx are mostly like local. You just have a door, and in order to unlock it, you do something right there. It's not often that you have to like see.
No,
like,
it's not often. But there are like physics-based puzzles in it, and maybe I'm
not
thinking more of Half-Life 2.
Yeah, it's more about Half-Life 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, what's interesting, the objects are not always in the same place, because this hammer, you found it on an upper shelf, but I found it on the lower shelf. So
well, there's actually there's
on my different playthroughs.
Hammers.
Oh, there's 2 hammers. Okay, but this this like I don't know, filament. On one of my later playthroughs, I didn't find it in the kitty litter, but I found it in one of the in the other toilet. So they kind of, yeah.
Well, it could be in this toilet or that toilet, I guess. Anyway, to answer your question, Scion, it's kind of undetermined at this point. I think I do have a lot of question marks about this game. I think it's telling that so many people are excited about it. But it's mostly, if not all, based on it's great for a quest game.
Right.
For a quest game.
Right.
I want to know if it's going to be great, period. And then just amazing that it runs on Quest.
Yeah, it's a great place to start the conversation. It's not where I want to end it. 100%.
Right.
Yep.
So it's going to be telling to see if it's improved on the other platforms. Also, this is a very small slice of gameplay that we have here. Like, is this another one that's going to be done in 4 hours? Because, talking about a game like Half-Life Alyx, one of the things that made Half-Life Alyx so great was just like 20 hours to play through Half-Life Alyx. And it's an epic story that you're playing through.
Yes.
All they've
Very high
shown here is
production.
that, all they've shown here is that they are capable of creating the stage for that 20-hour epic length, campaign. Whether or not they actually have that campaign remains to be seen. There are some context clues, though. If you, in the menu area, there's a board that talks about what their next focus is in terms of development. And what they say their next focus is non-linear gameplay, so that you have options in terms of how you play through the game. Like, you don't. It's not just like Half-Life Alyx, for example, is perfectly linear. Like, it just walks you through its campaign. Apparently, to some extent, that's not going to be the case here, and they're going to let you have the option of going left or right, going upstairs or going down the street. To make.
They
your way
also
through.
mention
And I'm sure
emergent
each-
gameplay. In the start game menu, they have listed like that emergent gameplay example is coming, and what it means is something like think like Hitman, like things just happen in the world and it leads to some consequences that you can use to your advantage.
If they're working on all of these types of cases and potential opportunities, like that's very exciting, because that's kind of like next level stuff you don't typically see in these games. So yeah, I would say that so far, they've aced the course. Again, there are some things that I can be critical of in terms of interactions and the gunplay and like the action and all of this.
Wes, you didn't find the robot body?
What?
You have a battle robot that you could use.
Yeah,
it's
I did.
very
I just
helpful. Yeah, okay.
It's in my holster. Like, I didn't.
You didn't
I didn't
activate
use it. Yeah, I didn't
it's very
activate it.
helpful. It's much more helpful than your average AI companion
here it is.
in a video game. Yeah, it's very. It takes initiative basically. It goes forward and pushes. So yeah, it's very useful. It kind of reminded me. I don't remember what was this classic game that that in some of the levels it relied heavily on an AI robot that helped you. Maybe Doom 3. Maybe something else, I don't remember, but it really gave me like this impression of a
I think
clever...
RoboQuest is going to get something similar as well. I haven't played the original RoboQuest game, the non-VR one, but one of the elements that they're bringing over from it is something called RoboBuddy, and I don't know what RoboBuddy does, but apparently it's a pretty big deal and big part of the game.
I love him already.
Anyway, what?
He's my friend. Robot.
Yeah. Anyway, what I was going to say here is, while there are things that I could certainly criticize about this, I think it can all be chalked up to polish, and because of that, I don't really want to, gut it too much. I think in terms of showing off what they're capable of and getting people excited, they've aced the test here. They've done very well. And, a lot remains to be seen with how the final game's going to be. And I have no clue of when this game is coming, or how
it says
far
2026
into
on the PlayStation Store page.
Good. Great. So we won't have to wait another 5 years to find out. But I'd say that they've shown enough here to have this be one of my most, if not most anticipated 2026 releases. So
Could
I'm
be.
excited
Well
to see
done.
where this goes.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. I think most people that have played it are very excited to see where it goes. So definitely stay tuned, as there will be more on this throughout the coming year, and yeah, definitely super excited. One of the most impressive things I've seen on a standalone headset. So yeah, well done to Phosphor, and again, shout out and a big thank you for allowing us to experience it. And there's that board I was talking about a moment ago. So you can see they're working on making this a bit deeper than a game like Half-Life Alyx in terms of gameplay and exploration, which I can appreciate.
And here it says coming soon emergent gameplay on the previous frame.
And Old Darth says 2026 may be a sign that the game won't be that long. I don't think so. Again, this game's been in development for years, and just because they're showing us a small slice of one level doesn't necessarily mean that that's all they have. I'm sure they have a lot more done here. So yeah. Anyway, stay tuned for more on AUTOMA. I'm sure we're going to be talking about it often throughout the year as we prepare for launch. And with that, we come to the last title on our lineup, a game that I've been waiting for some time to talk about now. Reach, the latest from In Dreams, and the initial offering from In Dreams Elevation. A lot's been said about Reach so far. And again, before we start, big thank you to In Dreams for allowing us to have early access to this game on all platforms. And a big thank you to them for sending me the care package that they sent. What's in the care package, you might wonder? I don't know, because I don't have it yet. It's actually, I just learned this past week that it's being held at a FedEx facility. I think maybe I have to pay something like a handling fee or some kind of government tax or something. Maybe one of Trump's tariffs. I don't know. Yeah, they didn't deliver it to me.
Where's it coming from?
It's from UK.
Yeah, so there is a tariff, probably. You would think. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. So they keep
is.
sending me these delay messages in my email, like the delivery's been delayed, and then finally, after like a couple months of that, I sent them a message. I was like, when are you guys going to deliver this thing, man? Like, you keep telling me every week that it's delayed. What's the problem? It's literally a 45-minute drive from my house. I can see where it's at. And they said that basically that I should contact FedEx directly, and that there's probably some sort of tariff or fee that I need to pay to get them to deliver it. So anyway, thank you, In Dreams, for sending that. I look forward to finding out what's actually in there. They always send the best merch, so I'm sure whatever it is going to be cool. But on to the game. So Reach actually launched under a bit of controversy and mixed reviews from notable VR reviewers. And this is the case for a number of reasons. One, when it launched, there was quite a lot of bugs in it. No matter which platform you played on, people were having games drop and crash. And at that point, there were even some bugs that were causing people to get soft locked out of their save, so that they would have to like literally start the entire game over again to keep playing. Luckily, most of these bugs have been resolved at this point. And it's one of the advantages we have here where we do play these games a little bit later than everyone else, we often get to cover them after all of the fixes have been rolled out. And this is certainly one of those cases. Maybe not everything fixed in it, but most of the big launch problems are now solved. And there's a new save system that's been built in so you can keep multiple saves. So if one of your saves gets broken, you can just go back to the last one. Anyway, I think all of the technical criticism that this game has gotten it was fair. It's just the latest case that we've seen of these games coming out like probably a month sooner than they should have, and you know, the review scores reflecting that. Now, that wasn't the only thing that people criticized with these review scores. And a lot of people didn't connect with the gameplay. And I think, and we'll start with you again here, Looper. I think a lot of the issues that people had with this in terms of gameplay are a result of an ineffective advertising effort.
Yep.
When they were getting people ready for this launch. A lot of the videos and things that we saw of it made it seem like it was going to be a pretty straightforward action game, like a lot of other games that we've seen in VR. But when you play the game, you find out that that's not the case at all. That action is only
you do
small
not find
fraction.
out it right away. You
Well, yeah.
When
Well,
you,
I mean,
when you
I
play the
don't-
tutorial, it seems pretty much like what you've seen in the
that's
trailer,
fair.
right?
Yeah, that's fair. The
Yeah,
tutorial
it all
is very
changes at some point.
action focused.
Yeah. So
But the truth of
thing
this
is-
game is that it's primarily a platformer. Like this is primarily a platformer
Yep.
with some puzzling elements as well
Yes.
and some action. But people weren't expecting that, Looper. And I think we have a case here where somebody's grabbing a cup blindly, expecting to take a drink of lemonade, and they're actually getting a drink of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So the thing is, I got warned by Brian's review that this is a puzzle game, but I would have to agree rather with your definition, because it's much more a platformer than a puzzle game.
Yeah.
Because most of the things you do in the game, it's not like solving puzzles; it's traversal. You get from point A to point B, and on your way you may encounter some obstacles, some like traps, and occasionally some enemies, maybe occasionally some puzzles. Yeah, but mostly you just get through it.
Get there. Yeah. How do you get across
Yeah.
to the other side, essentially?
Yeah, and I really like how they did the traversal, how you can throw yourself around. It's not so. It's a lot of climbing, but you can skip a lot of it by just throwing yourself.
Yeah. It's like Stormland in that effect, where you can just
not
kinda
not
toss
to
your body
that
around and
extent
grab.
probably, but because in Stormland you can do like much larger distance. But yeah.
But anyway, I should say that I have not finished this game. I have played, I think, relatively deep into it, but I didn't completely finish
What's
it.
the last upgrade that you did?
Shit, man, I don't know.
I mean, no, not specific. What like the kind of thing that you can now go through? Like, is it like some teal?
I mean, I
tiles
guess
that
it's
you can now climb on?
relatively recently, within the last hour or two of my gameplay, I unlocked the ability to grapple on those bars and things.
Oh yeah, so it's. I think you are not. You are not even in the middle yet. So yeah, it's. By the way, this is the part of the game where you unlock the grapple. I think this is where it got the most annoying for me, because I think this is where the action was the most sporadic. So when it was there, it was cool and challenging, but it was like you go into the room, you fight 3 enemies, and that's it for the next 20 minutes. So
Yeah, to some extent, I think I do have a few more enemies though, because I am playing on the hard difficulty. I guess I
I
probably
was
should have
on
said that
default
earlier.
on the medium.
Yeah,
But then it a bit changes a bit when you discover more abilities, and I would say on the later levels there were some very memorable combat sequences. Yeah, but some of them were also memorable for very different reasons, because I had like some very weird bugs where my bow would just disappear and I had to fight without it. But then I found it that because it was like suspended in the air, but then it just wouldn't operate properly. I just couldn't. It just kind of had to stay in place. But it was all good. I found a way to like dispose all the enemies, and then after reloading the save, it all worked fine. So it's good. And then on another occasion, I like the way the one of the levels is structured. You enter a room, and all the enemies are behind like a grill, and you can shoot them through it with your arrows, but they think they cannot shoot you. So the only thing they do, they throw grenades, but the grenades don't go through the grill. So they fall down and even kill some of them. So it feels like cheating, but that's the position the game put me in. I didn't look for it.
The game
like
made
where
me
I-
do it.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean, if the game AI is dumb, that's not cheating. That's just the game AI being dumb.
Yeah.
Um,
But
and
anyway,
in most
there were
what-
some very memorable for the good reason sections where you really had to manage your health and your specials and stuff just to stay alive, even on normal medium difficulty. So yeah, later for me
Yeah,
it
I
was
found
like
myself-
a curve where near the middle it was very dull and annoying, but then it grew a bit back.
So, I haven't gotten to that point yet where I feel like the gameplay is being dull and repetitive. I think though to some extent, that's due to me like I'm not playing through it like 5 hours today and 5 hours tomorrow and 5 hours the next day. Like there was some space in between my play sessions. So that I think that helped to keep me from kind of getting tired of it, like some people.
Did you always remember
reportedly have
how to
done.
do how to spawn your shield or stuff? Because when I played after a big break, I forgot everything. Luckily, there is like a section of tips in the pause menu that you can check at any time. So it helps a lot because everything is gesture based. You do like there is a lot of gestures you have to remember in order to like do some basic stuff like show a mini map or spawn a shield or stuff like that.
And for what it's worth, I think the gesture based stuff, I didn't think I would care for it when I heard about it, but I think all of that's pretty well implemented. Like even the jumping where you have to throw your arms up to jump.
It's cool that you can use just
good.
one arm. You don't have to use both. It's kind of more a bit like easier, you know.
Yeah, like it didn't really take me any time to get used to that, and before I knew it, I was just kind of flinging myself around without even thinking about it. So they did a good job with that. Well, I guess before I give any more thoughts on it, D, how much of this game did you play, and what were your thoughts on it?
It's been a minute, but I liked what I played of it. Not too much off from what Looper's been saying about it, but I mean, I loved how big the world felt at certain points in the game.
Definitely.
And I don't know, I love my bow. but using the bow, you lose that ability to grapple and climb and stuff. So in certain situations, it's gonna, you know, it's disconnected a bit at certain points.
Yeah, but I feel like they mostly segregated the game well enough to where that shouldn't be too
Right.
big of an issue. Like the
Not
combat
exactly.
sequences are typically contained. Now, not always.
Right.
If you try to move too quickly across some of these areas, you'll get climbing, and then they'll start shooting at you, or you'll find out about them after you start climbing. But my play style is so slow and deliberate. I feel like I've always saw those guys, 10 minutes ahead of them ever seeing me, and I dealt with them accordingly. And I certainly agree with what you're saying about the size of the levels. Like, it's very again the gameplay is very traversal focused, and the levels are laid out as such. It's all about climbing, swinging, grappling to get across into the next part. But there were areas of this game I felt like that were very cheesable, and what I mean by that is just through a little bit of exploration, climbing around. You could find shortcuts around certain things.
Yeah, I
Now,
think I found some
oftentimes,
instances for that. Yeah.
oftentimes that would break the game. Like I would throw myself in the areas that you're not supposed to be in, and I would
Yes.
either get stuck or
You should have
eventually
solved the puzzle.
it kills you. Yeah, right. But for the most part, I really enjoyed that aspect of it. Like
I
just
think
kind of being able
on
to.
one occasion where I kind of tried to maybe even without knowing it try to make a shortcut, the game would just kill me.
Yeah, if you get stuck in an area you're not supposed to be in, the game after
Mm.
like 5 seconds or something will automatically kill you. But there are other areas where like there are floors with different corridors in, and there is some backtracking in this game too. It's like the map, you don't realize it at the time,
Yes.
but after you get in, you realize
It's
that
kind
you
of
are where
connected
you
to
were.
the yeah, so and you do unlock various abilities throughout the game, so it kind of feels like it could be a Metroidvania, but it's not really, because you're only using the new abilities to progress further in the
Right.
story. You don't go back like to some secret rooms or nothing like that, unfortunately.
Let's talk about the production here, because this is a game that they've pretty much sold since day one as being a AAA experience, and that term obviously carries a lot of different meanings for a lot of different people, and it does mean something different, I feel like, in VR as opposed to traditional gaming. But for some people, they didn't feel like it lived up in terms of production, and I think that as far as criticisms go, that's one of the most unfair about this, because and maybe obviously it's going to be different on Quest. I played primarily on PlayStation, but I thought this game was absolutely beautiful, from the very first moment of the game to the moment that I most recently played. It does get very samey, like the environments aren't very diverse as you go on, but in terms of like the resolution and the art direction and the way everything looks and sounds, I was pretty impressed with it here. I felt like it's in the top percentile of VR games in terms of production value. Dee, I'll start with you this time. What did you think about how the game looked and sounded?
One of the parts that blew me away, I cannot remember the character's name, and I meant to grab it before we came on air, but that first guy that you come across,
Atlas.
Atlas.
Yes. That was one of the coolest things I have ever seen in a game.
It was pretty cool.
But I loved it. I can't wait to get back in there and like wasn't for frickin' Arc Raiders, dude. Seriously, I would have had this game completed already. But I do plan on finishing it before, game of the year.
The same. I'm having fun with it, and I think that's, if you take away anything from this segment, it should be that. Like I've played probably 10 hours in this game already, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of game to go apparently per looper. I still have a ways to go, and I'm already 10 hours in, and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
Looper, your thoughts on the production value of the game?
First of all, speaking of game length, for me it was 11 hours for the whole game, but again, I probably just go through it quicker, so it's gonna be different person to person.
I'm exploring every little hole,
always
trying
take
to find
my time. We're like that when we game, Wes. Like I'll open every drawer, check every bucket, break everything I can. You don't know what's in there.
All right,
So.
but unfortunately, there is not a lot to find here, because like when you drop down to the streets, I wish there were anything to find there, but no, you only thing to find is a way back up. So yeah, visuals great. I love the art style, kind of similar to what we have in Saint and Sinners or Vampire.
Did you ever play The Gallery episode 2?
I played both episodes. I don't remember a lot about it, but what was the question?
No, I was just because I think the art direction of this game, the way it looks after you get underground, not in this part here.
Yeah.
This part here looks like Hitman to me. The
not
city
quite,
that you're
but
in.
Yeah.
But after you get underground and you're kind of making your way through all these underground ruins.
Yeah.
I think it looks a lot like the gallery. It reminds me a lot of the gallery.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, probably. Yeah, can't remember.
Anyway,
so yeah, the audio, the voice acting is great. Although I'm probably not the biggest fan of the Atlas guy telling you in your ear whatever you should do at any given point. Like when you. Like whenever the climbing becomes challenging in terms of like where to find the road, he just tells you like where to go. So at some point I just muted him in the audio settings.
Yeah, there's a toggle for tips.
There is toggle for tips. I just maybe missed it. Okay, that's.
They still give you some tips though, even when you turn it off.
Okay.
And I could be mistaken. I'm going from memory here, but I think you can turn that off, and they still end up giving you more tips than you want. Like I don't want any hints. Just let me figure it out myself.
I would say that the haptics are a bit lacking. I mean, when they are there, they feel great, like when you're climbing, for example. But there are some small things like at the point where in the tutorial, when you find the bow, there is like this sample of a cool looking surface that you later discover is the surface you can use to shoot arrows into to climb on them later. But when you touch it, you don't feel anything, and it's like kind of missing, because it looks like a cool surface that you want to touch and try, but no. So yeah, whenever you touch any wall, anything, there is no haptics. So yeah, it's kind of a bit missing. But overall, it's good production. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's top notch. I think them calling this like AAA for a VR game, I think it's a fair statement. I think in terms of scope, there's enough here, and in terms of quality, it's certainly a top quality production. So I don't know. I'm kind of hesitant to kind of give the final word on this one, having not finished it. So I don't really want to give it like a score out of 10.
But that's not
what I will say.
Here.
Yeah, I know, but typically when we have a big release like this that's had a lot of hype put on it, and when it comes out and gets mixed reviews at best, I think a lot of time in those scenarios, and when we play the role of okay, what's true about this game that you've heard and what's not true, a lot of those situations I end up giving a score for it just so people can know.
I kind of feel like just listening to what you guys are saying that like a lot of the criticism that they took was their own fault. They miscategorized themselves by showing
That's true.
a trailer the way it was, and then they classified it as a AAA. And even though it does look good, it isn't AAA. I don't think. At least most people probably didn't feel that way. And so I kind of feel like if you just be honest and tell people what it is, it looks like a good game. But you know what I mean? Like, is it what the trailer didn't match and I'm wondering if maybe they just shifted directions and just never updated the trailer or something. Maybe it was supposed to be more action paced, but that's the biggest thing. People need to know this is a parkour platformer with puzzle elements. Like, people love those games. Instead, you pissed off everybody that loves action games. And you know what I mean? Like, it just is such a weird direction but you can't I don't blame anybody except for them. I'm glad that people are receiving it better now, but it's kind of important to let people know what kind of game you have especially with your trailer. Like, you can't trick them. Even if it's unintentional, they need to see what the game is.
Yeah, certainly a lot of it is definitely their own fault. I will agree with that wholeheartedly. They could have advertised the game better. They certainly could have made sure it was more polished before they launched it. With that said, my question coming into this game was, is it as bad as people say it is? Or is this another case like we saw late last year where people were underrating the best titles of the year? People underrated Behemoth. People underrated Alien. People underrated the Metro game. Yeah. And I got to say, I do think, again, having not finished it yet, maybe my thoughts will change on it. I do think that it is a bit underrated. I think a lot of people have reviewed this like it's an average title, and it's well above average. I think that this is a good to very good title, at least at this point for me. I think it's worth a play. I think most people should give it a look. Now, do you want to wait till it goes on sale? And I think it is on sale. And I'll let Dee speak on that in just a moment. Sure. I think it's a valid point to not want to pay $40 for a game if you have some question whether or not you're going to enjoy it. But I think if you're taking a lot of the reviews to heart, your expectations are pretty low for this game. And if that's the case, I think that you're probably going to enjoy it more than you think.
Scalpel Doc says it's underrated. So it looks good.
Underrated.
So it looks like the gameplay is fun.
It is. It's just different than what everyone thought it was going to be, for sure. And I can see it definitely putting some people off. Like if people don't like traversal-based games, like if this isn't your type of game, then it isn't your type of game, of course. But the fact that the action in the game is just kind of average, that's a very small part of the game. The action is just a small part of it. Looper, do you agree? Do you disagree? You did finish the game, so what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's definitely above average. That's for sure. There's still a lot of other games I would rate above this one. Again,
a lot of games that came out in this year, or just in overall?
Including this year, yeah. I would like. I don't want to make the comparisons right away,
don't do that.
I would probably put Alien above it. I would put Behemoth above it. Yeah, not even speaking about the front runners.
So why don't we do it this way, without giving away too much of the game here. Let me go to D. I'll go to D with this question, and then you can elaborate on it, D. Some of your larger thoughts about the game. Should this be a Game of the Year nominee? Should we consider this a nominee for the biggest award on the 2025 show?
Should it be listed? Yes. Is it going to win? Probably not. But
right.
I don't know if I agree that Behemoth is. See, I haven't finished it. So
yeah, I liked puzzles in Behemoth more than here. Even liked traversal in Behemoth more than here. In some ways, like with the grappling hook. I really don't like how the grappling works here, because the way it works, you just point it and there is like a drone that moves like a cursor. It's very weird.
Yeah, and the cursor doesn't always show up when it's supposed to. Like,
yeah.
There's a very defined range for it, and I get that was intentional, right? Like if they gave it like,
yeah, it only should work in specific areas. Yeah.
Right. But that gets tricky in some of these levels where there's a lot of those things and there's a lot of secret areas, and you kind of have to kind of push yourself to the boundary before the cursor will set up. Again, I get it that that's intentional, but even with it being intentional, it can be frustrating at times, because you feel like you end up falling and dying sometimes, and you feel like it's not your fault.
Yep.
Looper, same question to you. Do we consider this for Game of the Year?
I'm not opposed to it, but I would rather leave it for everyone else to decide.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to nominate it here because I do feel like it has the potential to be that good in the conversation there. Like my experience with the game so far,
it's definitely
worth
worth finishing
positive
for you. That's for sure. So that's a good way to ensure it.
Yeah. So I guess we'll leave it at that. Definitely, there's a lot more to say about the game, and we're going to say it on the 2025 show. But I'm interested in what you all think. Like, did you play Reach? What were your thoughts? Do you agree with a lot of the reviewers out there that the game is average at best, and it should have been like way better than it is? Or do you think that it was underrated, and that, again, people were expecting one thing, and when they didn't get that one thing, then they just kind of weren't happy, so to speak. Like it tainted their whole impression. Something else that I feel like too, it was maybe the case here with these reviews, and a lot of reviews for that matter. I feel like a lot of the reviewers out there are pressing so that they can have their review done in time for launch day, and in doing so, they play the game in an unnatural cadence. Like if you're not a reviewer and you don't have a deadline to finish the game, you're going to buy this from the store. You're going to play it for a few days in a row probably, and then you're going to go on and play something else, and then come back every couple of days and do a little bit more. That's how I played it, and I think I enjoyed it a lot more because of that. I think a lot of people were criticizing it for being samey and repetitive, but I think that those players were probably playing it. They were forcing themselves to play it instead of playing it when they wanted to play it, if that makes sense. And by doing so, I think they burn themselves out oftentimes on these games. But that's just speculation on my part. I don't know that, obviously, to be fact.
Definitely
Anyway, old Darth asking about Thief. Thief is not in the mix for Game of the Year, but not because it isn't good enough. It's outside the nomination period. Thief was launched in December. We may cover it. Do you guys want to add that to the lineup for the next show?
So speaking of games that like Thief or like other games that released right now, I don't think we have to wait until February before we cover them. I think it's totally fine if we mix them in.
Yeah. Okay. So the next episode, we wanted to cover Deadpool. We want to cover Surviving Mars Pioneer. And then we can add Thief to that lineup. Unless, Dee, do you have any objection to that?
Nope. Oh no, playing video games. Damn.
So that'll be our lineup at the very least. It's likely
Sounds
we'll
great.
add one more title to that. It might be something basic. It might be a mod. Speaking of which, Ruuts, I don't know if you caught the news, but the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild VR mod, after all of these years, is finally launching tomorrow for free.
Oh, that's awesome. Am I going to be able to, can I play it in third person with a GameCat pad controller, or is it going to be first person, like where I have to use my bow and all the...
So the mod primarily is a first person mod. They have moved everything into first person and did it and added motion controls for all of the stuff. With that said, I do know that there is a third person option that you can toggle on. So I imagine that I haven't seen any footage of the third person view, but I imagine that's got to be very similar to the base experience.
I would just love to be able to play it a little bit more. Like if it's got an option to like where I don't have to, and it's not even about being lazy. I just want to play like when you play a retro game. Let's go ask John Riggs. Like do you want to play this retro game but have it completely changed in every way? It's not retro anymore. I think it's super cool, but I want to go in there and check it out possibly and see, but like the same things that's going to excite everybody else, if it's only that way, it just kind of is a kick in my nuts. You know what I mean? Like I want to play fucking Breath of the Wild, like the legit Breath of the Wild, the way it's was meant, that the maker made it that way. You know what I mean? Unless you let MASH and your team bring it into VR, then I guarantee it's probably like a really, really good version of it. But no, I didn't hear. I heard that was that the one you were talking about that was there was a mod coming out, or was that something else? I thought there was a mod for Flat to VR coming out, right? Is that you guys are involved with it or no?
No, we're not involved with this at all. No.
I thought I could have sworn last week or something that you had said that there was somewhere I read that there was some announcement or something coming out the next day. Maybe I'm just misremembering something that had to involve a mod, but some news.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I know this one's been in development for over 5 years.
Oh, cool.
So like a lot has gone into it. And there's a trailer out you guys can look up. That looks amazing. And as someone like I've never played Breath of the Wild, so my first time playing it will be in VR, which is awesome. But with that said, I'm a lifelong fan of The Legend of Zelda. So like it was the original Legend of Zelda that originally made me fall in love with video games and really a lot of the main gameplay elements in games even today, in like the RPG genre. All of that stuff started with the first Legend of Zelda, and so I'm really excited to check this out, and I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm glad we get to play this in VR. Have you played on PC?
Is it a recreation?
No, this is a mod of the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild. So Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U and Switch.
Right.
And they've taken the Wii U version probably into an emulator, something like Dolphin, and then and use that to build this mod. Old
Darth says, I wonder how long it takes till Nintendo has it taken down. I was thinking the same thing. If you
Yeah.
want to get this
That's-
fucking thing, you
Hurry
better
up
get it
and
now.
That's what my son said. He's like, get it on the first day because Nintendo's going to kill it pretty much straight away.
Yep.
Which is true, probably. I mean, that's what they did with that 3DS emulator that launched for Quest this past year. Like, I don't think it was up a week before Nintendo demanded they take it down.
Dude,
which
your
they
Switch
complied.
2, you'll brick your Switch 2 if you just buy or you play a used copy of a game. It's kind of
Right.
crazy.
Is that true? Like,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you buy a cartridge?
If you bought, so no, if it's a pirated version, so like, you know, some people will
okay.
pirate it and put it into that you can do it and put it in a thing and make it look legit, and then they sell that
Yeah,
somewhere.
sure.
Or if you do it knowingly, I just think that's a little bit aggressive to me. I can see them saying, no, you're not, it's just not going to work. But to have it, like, literally, you can't connect your ever again to the internet with it. It's pretty much a bricked console.
That's right. Yeah, you to do that, what you're talking about. I did look into this a few months ago. To pirate games on Switch, each game has its own like individual ID number, and you have to find a way to like spoof that. If you don't have the original number that was associated with it, it's a number in the background that you don't ever see really. So if you want to effectively pirate these games, you have to account for that, and there are ways around it. But Ruuts is right. If you trip up once and go online with it, that could break your console. That's the reason why my son was looking into doing it with his Switch 1, and I told him, and it wasn't even the pirate games. It was just to because he wanted to run backups. And I told him, I was like, look, man, just use what's officially available, because if you fuck it up one time, like, you're gonna mess your console up. And now that he's got a Switch 2, maybe that's something he wants to go back and mess around with. But,
Right.
Screw the Switch 1
Yeah.
now. You got a Switch 2? Things.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Nintendo's starting to see some pushback on it because their sales are, PlayStation 5 actually beat them in sales this year, and it's a 5-year-old console, and it's been out 6 months, the Switch 2, because of all this. The anti-consumerism is starting to catch up to them.
Yeah, and Nintendo's always been the harshest when it comes to anti-consumerism. Like, if they had it their way, they wouldn't even support the game cards anymore at all. Like, they've wanted to go all digital since like pretty much the onset of the internet, because they absolutely hated back in the day that people could, rent the games and play
Right.
them. They hated that. They really hate that people can resell games. Like, they can't stand it that there's an option for people to buy a used game and not have to go pay them $70 for a new copy, right?
Yeah.
So they're constantly working to try to phase all of the physical media out as much as they can.
Crazy.
Tatum says the new Metroid is good.
It is.
It
That's good to
is.
hear.
Yeah, I
Switch
tried
2,
that
it looks amazing.
at Gamescom. I love the mouse controls with it.
I did not play. I do not know.
So it's
Um,
kind of best of both worlds, because you have like your right Joy-Con as a mouse and your left Joy-Con as the regular joystick. So you have joystick locomotion and the mouse for aiming. And I think I already said that like on one of the earlier episodes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess that is our show.
I do have some pricing on
Oh, yeah,
Reach.
I meant to come back to you on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
So on Quest, it is on sale. $31.99. And oops. And there's the link for that. Both PCVR and PlayStation are 25% off at $29.99, but if you have PS Plus, you get an extra 5%, so it's going to make it even cheaper.
I feel like $30 is a good price point for it right now. Like
Right.
it may turn out to be worth the 40. I think that's debatable. I don't think that $30 is debatable. I think that it's for sure worth $30. It's a $30 game.
Oh, there is also I saw this when I was grabbing prices before. There is a bundle with Reach and Synapse for
Oh,
$50.
that's cool. I wish they had
I
a
don't know
bundle.
how Sony handles bundles like on other platforms. If you own one of the games, you just end up getting the other one at a heavier
Yeah, I don't
discount.
think it works like that on PlayStation. No, you just
Mhm.
you just get the other game in that case.
You got
Yeah,
another
yes.
copy.
So I want to say I wish there was a bundle of Reach, Synapse, and Fract.
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool for sure.
Which
I
means
think
I
those.
wish there was a Fract port on PSVR too.
You're right, exactly. It's on PC for God's sake. It should be on PlayStation VR too. But we could say that about like dozens and dozens of games for sure. Like all of those PSVR 1 games are just hopefully not lost forever, but it certainly seems like they may be lost
Yeah.
forever.
Well, I mean, you can buy a PSVR 1 and it works with PS5.
That's true, I guess. You still have to play it on that old
Yeah.
dinosaur of a headset.
Ain't happening.
Maybe some of them will make an emulator.
Yeah.
I think that's actually likely. It's just going to be 10 years from now before it ever
Yeah.
happens.
Retro VR gaming.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
at
People,
by that,
I guarantee you.
by
I'm sorry,
that
go ahead,
time,
Ruuts.
we won't. Most of those games will be like, because the other things will have been so much better by then.
But I'm sure we'll see something one day where you're able to download those old PSVR 1 games onto your onto your PC and play them in a modern headset.
Yeah, and stream it right into your
through an
neural
emulator.
chip.
There you go. Anyways, thanks again for everyone who showed up and hung out for the episode. Just some reminders. Make sure that that you're watching the Discord this week as we get our nominees sorted for the 2025 Show Awards. Patrons, make sure you're watching your feed for a bunch of exclusive new content as well as arrangements for the 2025 Show Awards selection party. And everyone else, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell so that you can get notified when we go live with our next episode, which will probably be the last episode we do before the 2025 show. And just to be clear, that I mean podcast episode. I'm not saying that I won't like get on here and stream a game or something to that effect. With that in mind, I already know what the fourth game is going to be for the next episode. It just dawned on me that we're going to be playing Zero Caliber this week on PlayStation VR
right.
2. So we can just add that right into the lineup, and that'll be game
Right.
4.
Great.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't get as like cerebral with it as I did with something like Returnal, but there is some nuance to the perk selection in it, and once you start building it, like it can come together in some interesting and different ways. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm like Looper though. I'm afraid if I start playing that game again that we won't be talking about any of these other ones. But I'm definitely going to get back in and play some. So yeah, who knows? Maybe I will stream that one. I haven't really played it on Steam much. I'm kind of tempted to start a fresh, like a fresh character, and play it on Steam, just to so I'll know to see how, if it's better, and if so, how much better it is on PC than on PlayStation. So I guess it's relevant information for the upcoming conversation. Anyways, yeah, I think that's it. Again, thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you all soon for Young Roots and D and Looper. I'm Wes. See you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Peace out.